third.
You are down here in...
We did make it to Silcon.
Silcon. Yes.
Yeah. That's right, because things are weird here. I remember.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm with it.
Somebody's poisoned the water hole.
Right. But it could just be normal here. Who knows?
True. We don't really have a baseline to start with. We need a control group city.
That's right.
Find it. Considering we've just come from the Underdark, and that's obviously not the control group.
Well, it kind of is, though, because...
I was about to say, if you think about it...
Everything's evil.
Oh, okay, fine. Yes. So we're comparing. This is how much like the Underdark.
Oh, did you decide on any additional scrolls to buy?
Oh, yeah, that's what that list was.
Yeah. So there's some decent ones in there. Like the one that's really cheap is actually a cantrip, but it lets you just cast it if you need it. And there's some nice ones in there, like Thunderwave, Healing Word, Detect Thoughts is in there, Expeditious Retreat, Alarm. They're all pretty decent, and you could scribe them into your book if you desire, or just keep them to cast whenever you want to.
Polymorph God? That's a new one.
I have that spell. I mean, that's the daily levels I got.
Right.
How much do they cost? Or am I limited as to...
Yep. So everyone except for the Friends one is 120 gold.
Oh,
and
okay.
the quantity is the left column, the price is the right column.
Gotcha. I was looking at the list above that.
Oh yeah, the list above that is some spells that people are willing to swap. The main difference there is that you actually have to spend the time with them to do that. So it's not like you can pick up the scroll and then do it later.
Hey, Brigman.
I mean, I guess you could always beat them up and then take their spell book, but
that sounds the right message.
That's illegal.
It's okay, we're high enough level to get away with it.
Probably for a bit.
Ooh.
Kill the town guard.
We should just take over the town, become the town guard.
Yeah, but then we have to run the town.
That's a good point.
Yeah, no warlords ready for after the conquest.
Yeah, all right, fine. So I walk up to some random stranger and says, "You're lucky we're not taking over your town."
I could totally take over this town.
Then I hit him with Stunning Fist.
Okay, Boba Fett.
I haven't seen that, don't spoil, but I'm actually really excited because that's like the most exciting premise I've heard in Star Wars in like a decade. No joke. Like that sounds so cool to me.
Been pretty good so far.
You know what they say, Alexander the Great wept because his upkeep was very high.
Yep.
I will say it doesn't suck. It's not what I was hoping for, but it doesn't suck.
All right. So you are in a little bit of an upkeep, maintenance, whatever time at the moment. However, there is one very important thing that is currently ongoing, which is at the Temple of Kellenvor here. Because, Tastin, you're still with your brother there, obviously, and
yep.
The first attempt to try and get this under control, to kind of cleanse some of this nastiness from him, didn't fully succeed. So it seems like it's going to take a little bit of time, potentially some more help in order to do it. Now you can always stay here and continue to try day after day, right? Like that's completely something that is maybe not only expected, but maybe necessary in order to do this. And this really consists of, I mean, to put it bluntly, it is spending silver powder in order to conduct one of the clerical rituals of ceremony, right? And one of the effects you can do with it is to restore alignment. Now, the problem with it is that it's very difficult to do that, right? Because you have to, and you did this last time, you actually have to make a check when you do that, which has a pretty high DC.
Mhm.
And it also costs, and I know this sounds like a pittance to the party at this level, but it does cost 25 gold every time you try to do it. Because you have to like
you
get
can't
powdered silver.
infinitely- Yeah.
Right. I mean, I think your party can afford it, no problem at their point.
For
But, you know,
now.
like a normal temple could not just burn through that, right?
Sure.
But, you know, it is something you can continue doing. And it takes an hour and 10 minutes, actually, technically, to do this ritual every time. So you can try it multiple times per day. It's just, you know, obviously a bit taxing if you keep doing it over and over and over again in a short period of time. You can also use this one to marry people, but I don't think that's what you're doing right now.
No, but I'll keep that as a background element.
Yeah, so actually
if
with this thing,
necessary.
so yeah, so the specific usage of this is atonement that we're doing right now.
Okay.
There you can also, the second usage of it is bless holy water. So basically you cast this over an hour and 10 minutes and you can cause a vial of water to become holy water.
Okay.
There's also the third option is, I've never seen this one used before, but it's here. It's coming of age, basically. So if somebody's going from basically into the adventuring age or something like that from a young age, they can do this ritual. Then for the next 24 hours, they get to add a D4 to their ability checks. So it's like, oh, congratulations kind of a thing.
Okay. So how old is Glabagul?
It
That's my
good
immediate concern.
question.
Like, can we do this?
Yeah. No.
So here's
And
the,
if you
here's the
remember, I'm also a
problem.
young dwarf too, relatively.
I wasn't gonna. I
Um,
didn't want to assume, but that was going to be my next question.
It's valid.
You do have to touch them.
Oh man, that's going to burn.
Yeah,
Oh, that
Okay,
sucks.
you can do it.
I'm not saying you can't.
No,
But
24
here,
hours of me putting my hand on a gelatinous cube.
Let me read the rest of them before you're like, all right, let's do coming of
okay.
age for Glavagal. The next one is dedication. This one's actually really cool. You can touch a humanoid. Oh, it's humanoid. Glavagal's not eligible. I'm sorry. Touch one humanoid. Oh, you know, who knows? Maybe we'll invent the first version of the spell that allows it on aberrations and slimes. You
Okay,
touch one
okay.
humanoid who wishes to be dedicated to the god's service, like, of course, like Kellenborg. Like if you're inducting a cleric or a priest or a paladin, and you would have probably gone through this as well.
Mhm.
And for the next 24 hours, they get to add D4s to their save. There's also funeral rite. Again, something you'd probably be intimately familiar with, although as a death cleric, I think you have a better version of this because you're specifically dedicated to, I'm not death cleric, grave cleric, I'm sorry. Death cleric's totally something
I
different.
knew what you meant. I was like, yep,
Yeah.
no, we're going. Yep.
Grave cleric, you can touch a corpse, and for the next 7 days, it can't become undead unless you cast a wish spell on it. You have a better version just naturally called gentle repose, but you know, that is something that a lot of clerics can do. And the last one is the wedding. You basically wed two people, and for the next week, they gain a +2 to AC. Now, most of those things are like, oh, why wouldn't we just do this dedication stuff all the time? It's like a once per lifetime thing.
Okay.
So you can't just sit there and cast it over and over and over and over again.
So you got to have a coupon. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
So here's my thought.
Mhm.
What do you guys think about the first ever gelatinous cleric of Kellenvor?
Gelatinous cleric of Kellenborg. Ooh.
Dude, come on.
I mean,
It's either that or we kind of like modify him to be a gelatinous monk, and he could be kind of like a mobile version of like those wooden posts with the sticks coming out of him that you see everybody doing the kung fu practicing on, except he actually moves.
So hold on.
Yeah, see, now I got your attention.
Third.
Mhm.
So every GM I've played under, including myself,
Mhm.
whatever, you know what I mean, has all had a different answer to this question. How do
Okay.
you handle monsters gaining PC levels?
Easy. Use the sidekick system. That's what we did for Brunt.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah, that's true. All right.
So I'm just saying, while we're having this downtime here,
Now,
turn Glavagal into even stronger of a badass.
that being said, it's not going to be a instantaneous process.
I mean, how many days are we spending here?
That's up to
Three?
you.
Look, I'm working on it.
Like, I mean,
honestly, that's the
view.
thing too. Like it's kind of so. Tell you what, hang on. So, what I'm just going to ask you this third out of character. Like, what do you think would be the best sidekick class for Glavicle?
Oh, what do I think would be like the most optimized one? Or okay,
No, not
actually.
optimized. Like something that fits.
All right, hold on. Put the intermission screen on real quick.
Yeah.
Really?
It won't
It
let
gives
you?
me a commercial.
Oh, freaking YouTube.
We had a thing for this.
YouTube, you suck. Just so you know.
We were so close.
There we go. All right.
Okay.
So while he's looking that up, obviously we do want to help your brother. Duh. That's our primary goal in being here. What else do we want to accomplish before we go back down? Like Guido, you mentioned buying some scrolls, but that's like it's not going to take long. Like what's our goals here?
I think
Like
we need
in
more
character, my character. Oh, speaking of which, if I haven't, let me make this very clear. My character has relayed everything I know about how the city I was in that I just completely lost which one it was, is not doing hot, right? Like the siege is progressing and not going well, and things are bad. Like I'm kind of antsy to get back down in character, you know?
This is still Gracklestug, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The city we've been in for a while.
Right, okay,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
It's just there's
No, I
Gracklestug,
just wanted to double check.
and then there's Gauntled Grim, and they're too
Yes.
similar. I keep
Okay.
So yes, Gracklestug, sorry. And I'm like, and yeah, I will relay this. You know, after I got teleported in, after we started tripping, I'm like, so here's what's been going on downside. So
Well, that
obviously,
sounds bad.
Yeah, no, yeah, we're up here.
Of the absence.
You know, we can resupply. We can raise an army. We can call Gondor for aid. But you know,
Okay.
They're not going to answer.
Yeah,
No,
no,
they're not.
probably not.
they're a little distracted.
For a whole host of reasons.
Yeah, but
Trademarks.
what are we thinking to try and accomplish? Like, obviously, there's issues topside, but I really feel in character again that our focus should be doing what we need to do and then going right back. Thoughts?
Did your elven friend say she was going to be returning anytime soon?
No, she's off on her own quest. I
Got
may never see her again, honestly.
All right. I was going to say, if she returns, I don't know how many people she can teleport at a time, but she can at least teleport us to the entrance to the Underdark. I don't recommend, obviously, from your description, doing the transport to Gracklestug, because that sounds like a bad shot at best.
Yeah. Have you ever teleported through phasers? Because I
No.
have.
Like to live my entire shorter human life not doing that.
Yeah, that was fun. But yeah, no, I don't think that's in the cards unless you want to make a trip to the Anarok and try to find her somewhere in that desert.
Well, it's a small enough landmass. No.
Yeah.
Thank you for that follow, Zach.
I say, do we have like a scroll that's recall NPC?
That would be incredibly useful. I suppose like one of the best things we could probably do is get some legit horses for the trip back to the Underdark Tunnel. You know, cut down that wait time substantially. Lord knows we can afford it at this point.
Or at least one horse and a cart, because again, I don't think Glavicle is going to be able to ride a horse.
Oh, yeah,
Although
Glavicle,
I'm
right.
not opposed to trying.
The horse
I
might
Don't
not
see
like
it
it.
going well, though.
That horse will be opposed to trying, I think.
Yes.
How that's gonna work
As
out.
luck would have it.
Horse is just like, ah!
Even a war horse is not really going for that.
No, that's not cool. That's a fair point. All right, so yeah, a wagon. So I guess that'll be my goal. Is after I have reached out to Bahamut Third for advice on what to train Glavicle in, and then I guess I'll try to while you're doing scrolls and you're helping your brother, I'll try to get us a carriage that has like a metal lining or something so it can last a little bit longer, and like a horse or a bull or something. Third, how's the search going?
Sorry, I'm the reason I'm in hold on status is I just had work message me. Sorry.
Oh gosh, it's even worse than I thought. All right, so while he's doing that,
Get the intermission ready.
But it sounds like I'm hearing nothing. Like we're gonna finish this thing, help your brother,
Mhm.
and then leave. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, that's
Guido?
that's the game plan, at least for me.
So, do we anticipate your brother getting healed while we're here? So he's going to be returning with us?
Yes,
Okay.
because that was his specific request. Because
Okay.
he's like, okay, I want to pay this back tenfold on those who wronged.
Okay.
Which sounds like a paladin.
I was about to say, I mean, Tyr, that's his.
Yeah, yeah. Paladin of Tempest.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I think it's just a matter of getting his alignment aligned, if you will, and then we'll get on the road.
Okay. So maybe before we induct Glabagul into the Holy Order of Kalimdor, maybe you should ask him if he wants the patronage.
That's
Wait,
fair.
We're asking Kelimvor, or are we asking Glavagul?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Bragwin, since I know you're there, for the
Little
sake
column
of
of A,
this,
little column B.
Bragwin, I want you to role play with Glavagul for a minute, okay? While Thir's distracted. So, Glavagul, oh no, actually, this is going to be you. You're the cleric, so I'll be over here.
The Glabagul, my trusted friend. I'd like to give you the offer of joining with myself and my brother, doing the holy work of Kalimvor. You have done so many good acts already that we'd like to offer you a place within our group, if you would have us. Now, this is not a decision to take lightly. This is a lifelong goal and mission that you would be embarking on. And I can't see the chat since I don't have Twitch running right now, so I don't know what the response is.
Sorry, I was trying to be quiet because that got a laugh out of me, Bragwin. Bragwin's response is
That's fair. That's fair. Harsh, but fair.
harsh. Yeah, yeah. You can speak English. It's okay, Bragwin, or common. Excuse me. And now she is a bleeding heart. Is that a yes?
Yeah, don't know how to go with
I
it.
don't, yeah, like Levigal just morphs up into a heart shape, So there's just this gelatinous heart in front of us.
Sure.
Okay, so Bragwin says, "Woo," and would like to. So I don't know if we should make her a cleric or him a cleric. Excuse me.
I don't even know if it's possible.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's possible either. So what are the?
Because it's either that,
things?
a monk, or a wizard.
I mean, as weird as it sounds, monk, and I swear I'm not biased on this. I just think monk actually does sound like it would fit pretty well,
especially with the pseudopod aspect.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's not a far stretch.
I don't really want him doing lay on hands.
Come on!
That was the other thing I was thinking about.
I'm gonna heal you. It burns. It burns.
Okay, here we go. Sidekicks. Double checking a few things here. Okay, so it looks like there's only 3 sidekick classes at the moment. Although I know these can develop into classes. So we've got expert. That's bard, rogue. Spellcaster is obvious. Warrior is obvious. So it sounds like we'd want to go with warrior initially, and then maybe build up to a monk. Double check here.
Like, well, could you do like brawler and then to monk?
That's what I'm looking at. See, I'm not sure how this system works. I haven't used the sidekick system before. Like if we were just adding class levels, and yeah, monk, let's do it. Boom.
Or like a street tough.
Yeah.
Or a thug.
Oh my god. That gives me a great idea for like a low-level mafia storyline. And the mafia's like, you're gonna pay up. And I, oh what? And then just this gelatinous cube comes around the corner, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Big Tony, I swear.
Educate him.
No, I swear, I'm good for it. Just give me 2 more weeks. That's all I'm asking. All right, let him go.
Yeah.
Edumacate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
educate him. All right, let's see.
He's
here.
our best earner. Man, that Clavicle. He's a go-getter, real go-getter.
He is,
He's going
he is.
places.
He's gonna be a made blob.
Something.
Hmm.
Clavicle
So-
enforcer.
So if we did decide to make Glabagul a caster, which is possible, so Glabagul would gain either Wisdom, Int, or Charisma boost, depending on which we pick. They would gain proficiency in Arcana, History, Insight, Investigation. Blah, blah, blah.
I'm thinking like primarily like all acid-based
Yeah,
spells.
and they gain the ability to cast spells. They apparently gain the ability of Mage, Healer, or Prodigy, which is the equivalent of Wizard, Cleric, Druid, or Bard, Warlock.
Uh-oh.
No, whatever it is, no.
I hear a bad idea coming.
Oh,
Bard
God.
Warlock, come on.
A Bard, Warlock, gelatinous cube.
Best idea
That's-
ever.
Wow, that's wild.
Okay, so let's see.
How does he play an instrument?
I don't
A
know.
Bard Lock.
Bard
Yeah.
lock.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
See, what
Okay, so-
instrument would they play? Oh, well, the steel drums, obviously.
Oh no, that checks. Okay, yep.
Yeah.
That's literally the only one.
So I will say that it looks like their spellcasting list is pathetic. So at level 1, let me just summarize this. At level 17, they get 5th level spells, and that's the highest level spells they ever
It's
got.
a long walk. Okay.
Yeah, that's
All right,
that's
so probably not.
great. So hang on, let me check what else we got here. I'm curious how a gelatinous cube rogue would work. Give me a second to look at this.
Actually, I think monk might be a better option, if nothing else, for the speed increase.
Yeah.
Okay, expert actually doesn't look too terrible. So, at first level, they gain some bonus stuff. They gain an ability called helpful. They can use helpful as a bonus action, which allows them to. I don't know what that does, but give me a second to come back to that. At second level, they gain the ability to use their bonus action to dash. So there's your moves faster. At third level, they gain some proficiencies, but at fourth level, at sixth level, at sixth level, they gain the ability called Coordinated Strike. So whenever they use the helpful ability, that target can be up to 30 feet away. That sidekick, and the sidekick now does an extra 2d6 damage anytime they attack them within the next turn. And they also get evasion, which is exactly what it sounds like.
Mhm.
Inspiring help, which does even better help. Jeez Louise. Reliable talent, which is just a skill check thing. Increased save throws and increased help. So that's expert. I'm gonna look at
Okay.
warrior. Warrior gains the ability to be an attacker or a defender. An attacker, they gain bonus to hit. A defender, they can impose disadvantage. It still sounds like Clavicle, doesn't it? They can impose disadvantage
Wall.
on
Yeah.
on an enemy target.
Okay.
They gain second wind, which we know what that is. They gain improved crit, which we know what that is. Gain an extra attack per turn. Ow. Advantage on initiative rolls. That's a fun one. Their AC just goes up, just flat,
Just because. Okay.
and they get more save states, and that's it. So, or save states, well, saving throws, and that's warrior. So those, expert and warrior both sound useful. It kind of depends on where we want to go with that, I think. What do you think? And no, you do not, Bragwin. Or rather, you are correct, Bragwin. You can dash. Dash is just taking effectively a move action. It's just in this case they would get their move action again, like as a bonus, so they could just. And I'm pretty sure gelatinous cubes have something called kill you in the face. What is it actually called? Hang on a second.
Yes, that must be what it is.
It's the charge action that can only be a straight line. But
Oh, okay.
Hang on, what is it? Engulf, that's what it's called. The cube moves at speed. While doing so, it can enter a large or smaller creature space. When it enters that space, they must make a dex save. If they make the save, they dodge out of the way. If they fail, they are engulfed, which is exactly as bad as it sounds.
Yeah, no, that's
Oh, look,
They-
dinner.
They
yeah.
take 6d6 acid damage each turn. And
Perfect.
and that's that, really. That's all that really boils down to.
It's more of a tactical cube.
I love this. Condition immunities: blinded, charmed, deafened, exhaustion, frightened, prone. Just straight immune.
So the question is, which sidekick role the monk would fall under? Defender or expert?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Um,
I mean, I can see an argument for either.
yeah.
Potentially.
And obviously in stat terms, it's what do we want? Do we want someone who does more damage and helps do more damage, or do we want someone who hits more often and imposes disadvantage? I will say
So-
warrior definitely looks more livey, whereas expert looks more avoidy, for whatever that's worth.
So expert is more like helping on skill checks.
So let me see what the help action actually does, because it doesn't define that here. Help. You lend your aid to another creature. When you take the help action, the creature you aid sets off their alarm
Right?
and gains advantage on their next check. Here again. Combats, given this is where it matters. You give them advantage. You give an ally advantage on an attack roll. So
I'm definitely leaning towards warrior.
yeah, I think I am too.
Okay.
Helpful is nice, but warrior hits more and can have the defense thing, which is just straight up no, screw you.
Yep.
And has a heal and has improved crit and hits more often, if I already said that. And gets
Or-
advantage on initiative and gets
Yeah,
more AC.
Barbarian wouldn't work because Clavicle really doesn't rage.
If he
It'd
ever
be awesome,
does,
but
we
it just-
need to run.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, I guess that still falls under me to warrior train, I suppose. Guido, could you, or Liam, excuse me, can you train him in the warrior's arts?
I'll get right on that
Perfect.
in that not at all sort of way.
It's my top priority.
So I guess the other question is still, does Kellamvor want him?
Yeah, if we want to go that route with it, because we can make him a healer.
Well, he can still be more a paladin.
Oh, that's true. Like in lore.
And, that's because you can
I
be
don't
a
think
monk
anything
of
we're really doing
Kellamvor.
is in lore.
We're making it
What's your-
more.
What's your main party member? Well, we've got a gelatinous cube. I can't remember who. I think it was my sister's husband I was telling this to, and his reaction was, I'm sorry, what do you have in your party?
Yeah,
Well,
that's right.
we have death in this party.
That's right.
Okay, I think we're good.
Hey, so we're leaning
Oh,
towards warrior for the sidekick.
okay.
We have discussed it amongst ourselves. We want so yeah, Kellamore thing. So you do that, and I'll go
Okay.
for it.
So
Ooh,
I
no.
was gonna say, yeah, this could go one of two ways. So I'm going to pray for guidance to see whether or not this would be a welcome course of action with Kellamore, which I'm assuming is a percentile dice roll.
Well, let's see.
Or a straight no, dog.
I mean, Convor probably doesn't make decisions like this just based on dice rolls. Let's see.
Kellamore has an auto dialer. It kind of deals with this form.
Good things that Caliform's pretty neutral as far as all things go.
All cannot be completed as tiled.
Oh, I always figured he had like a pager. He doesn't actually have a phone.
I mean, he's kind of bureaucratic, but
Or he's got a BlackBerry. He's old school.
I mean, Glavigol isn't an undead, which is great. It's already past that step.
Yeah, step one. Is it dead?
Don't worry, I got you covered. Actually, third, what would you rule if we tried to make an undead gelatinous cube? I'm just curious.
What is even? What is that even?
Yeah, I don't think most spells would actually work on a gelatinous cube.
I was just wondering. I mean, it's clearly living, so
You'd probably have to invent your own spell to do that.
I walk up to Liam. So,
Yeah, new plan.
Yeah, what was the spell that I was talking about trying to research?
God, I don't remember.
I thought it
That
was
was-
screw that particular guy over there.
Well,
Well,
there's
yeah.
that, but no, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was like
There's something about burning webs. I remember that because that's when
Oh,
you had
right.
the
I
idea.
had forgotten about that.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Burning web. Yeah.
How can I make this more dangerous?
You know it. Could probably get away with a second level spell for that. Because you've got Scorching Ray and Web, both second level. Just
Combo cast.
kinda.
So, Gaston, you're correct. You are going to be this advocate for Clavigoul, right? Now, this will probably take a little bit of time to determine whether or not he's like eligible, and also some time in ceremony and such. This is essentially a religious downtime here, from what I'm looking at. Because I mean, it's not like people just guess at whether or not a follower would meet the requirements. Like, there's actually like written out stuff, right? This is stuff you can research, you can look up before you just like randomly say, "Oh, well, give him clerical powers."
Yeah, there's a fee,
and-
paperwork, union dues, orientation week,
Well,
Probation time.
right?
right. That's right.
Reviews. Mhm.
No, it's kind of like going into an interview without doing any research beforehand. You kind of want to do that, right? So if anyone in even the order has any problems with it, you know how to answer that sort of stuff. Because
Okay.
you're walking with your Latin cube, like, hey, he totally loves Kellenvor.
Completely unprecedented ground we're covering here.
So let's see. Tempo's beliefs and ethos align with the characters 100%. This is free. It's great.
Thank you for that follow, Solar Cat.
Because we want, yes, this is exactly what we want, because there's one half of this was just like, oh, it's general temple sworn. The other half is beatific intervention or omen or vision or a minor miracle or something like this, which is definitely what we need for Glabagoul. Okay. So the question is, do you have anyone you want to assist you with this?
Well, I would say Mark, but he also has kind of a
I secretly infused demonic power into Clavigoul.
yeah, this will go well.
Yeah, actually, yeah. And I was gonna say, Liam, even if your deity is actually kind of at odds with Kellenvor, to be honest.
Perfect.
Well, so let me ask this: if you were to ask your deity, do you mind harboring knowledge of how to create undead? He'd probably be like, "Oh, well, that's arcane knowledge. Like, why not, right?"
Right.
And Kellenvor would be like, "No, nope." So they're a little at odds. Mark, Kellenvor and Bahamut are pretty tight, as they can be. He sends people to Bahamut's realm if they need to be.
All right. I nod, turn bravely to Taston, and I say, Brand's your man.
Bren would also be. And here's the question as well, Crowlin. So he could potentially help as well. Do you want to try and do this before or after you attempt to continue with the
After.
ceremony for him? Okay.
After, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's resolve that first then.
Okay.
While that's happening, I am starting to train Glabagul in being a warrior sidekick class, just real quick.
Okay, yeah, no, not an issue. So there's also a thing for that as well. Training.
Now we get the montage.
Do his thing first. I'm just saying that if in universe, I'm doing this at the same time, so we're being efficient.
Yep.
We got to have a montage.
Mhm.
I did have a montage. I'm basically just looking to see how long it takes, really. Okay. Oh, okay. Actually, this, if you're doing the training, this actually doesn't apply. Never mind. All right. So, second day of ceremony. Go ahead and make an wisdom insight check, Taston.
17.
17. Okay. Unfortunately, you get very much the same result as yesterday, where the ritual continues for over an hour and you feel like you're close to a breakthrough. It's very intense, and you've got a couple of the priests helping with it, helping make sure everything's in line. You don't want to do it for an hour and then figure out you misplaced a few particles of silver dust and you got to do it all over again. Okay. Things like that. But unfortunately, Cuillin at the end says he still feels this dark cloud looming over him, and he seems to be getting kind of frustrated. He's got this part of him that seems to be, well, I was trained not to be like a chaotic, frustrated person, but I've been forcibly changed to that, so he doesn't seem to be having a great time. Third day. Unless you want to push him.
No, I don't. The last thing I would do is like enrage him.
Yeah. That's probably true. Third day.
Like I'm just throwing silver dust at him. Mm-hmm. Power of Kelmvor compels you. Okay.
Your mother's in here? What?
That is 24.
24. That's a pretty good roll. You must be very insightful. All right. So on the third day of these ceremonies, it's going much as the same it did the last day, but near the end, you feel like there has been a breakthrough. And it's one of those moments where everyone's pushing, and you can tell it's obviously uncomfortable for him. But at the end of the ceremony, everything feels right. And there's no angry outburst from him like last time, like the past few days. He gets up and he actually just has he looks tired, but he's got a smile on his face for the first time in quite a while. He says, I feel tired, but so much better. So much better. I think it has worked. I don't feel like this deep-seated sense of anger at everything around me. I hope this lasts. But I think you've done it.
This is good.
Let's rest for the rest of the day.
Yes. Gain your strength.
Yes. Okay. So that has succeeded. You have the DC is actually 20 for this, so it's pretty high up there.
Okay.
But you have managed to do it on the third day. So it costs a total of 75 gold worth of silver powder.
Okay.
At the end of all of this. And Cuillin, it definitely after a bit of rest, he's so much better. He's like, I feel very, very much like myself once again. Number one, I want to learn that spell. So I can help the other people who are trapped there. But number two, I feel like you've done so much for me just to get me back here, to literally go through hell and back, and to continue to help me here. What can I do for you? What can I help with?
Well, it's a bit of an odd thing to ask, but
okay.
Well, you've seen the gelatinous cube we travel with Glabagul.
I have, yes.
I was going to see if he could perhaps not only join us in our group, but also perhaps be another vessel. Is it vessel or vassal?
Vessel.
Vassal for Kelvor's will.
That would. I'm not as religiously trained as you are in the history of our order, but that I am pretty sure would be unprecedented.
Yes.
But
Yeah, just smidge.
right. So I think we'll have some work ahead of us. I mean, I'll follow your lead. You know more about this than I. You know, I got trained to hit things. You got trained to actually learn to read books. But
well, this is also uncharted waters for myself as well. But he's been by our side and through quite a few bits and scrapes. Helped us take down a red dragon. So, figured, see if it's even possible.
Kelvor willing, we'll find out.
Yes.
Okay, so the next part of this is actually a downtime. So it'll take 5 days to complete this. And this is, it's free because it's basically temple things, but it is, conducting services in the temple, attending rites, doing research on what really needs to happen with like odd converts, things like that, right? What's the history of this? Is this even allowed thing? All this sort of stuff, right? Hitting the books, asking people, and also convincing the temple that, yeah, it's fine. Because you just know there's going to be that one person who's like, well, what if he falls on somebody? So you have advantage on this since Krellin will be helping you with this.
Okay. And to be clear, since this is literally just like literally completely uncharted water, I'm fine with at any point in time, like someone in the church higher ups like, no.
Yeah, I mean, and like that's part of this as well, right?
Okay.
Because it's not just bringing I mean, you go through a lot of this too. If you just brought like a normal, like no name off the street who with like a criminal background, or
just
you were like, oh well, here's a former cleric of Bane, he just wants to join us. By golly, he's so happy about it.
Yeah,
like that's a evil deity. So let's check into this. Things like that, right? So for this, you may either make an intelligence religion or a charisma persuasion check for this.
Well, it's not going to be charisma. Intelligence religion it is.
Is it dogma or is it just sweet talking?
Yeah. That's 15.
15. All right. Did you roll with advantage?
Oh, sorry. No, I did not. That's 18.
18. Okay. So there's a little bit of time to pour through books and really find out about this. From what you can tell from previous teachings, learnings, pronunciations, et cetera, there's nothing that would really particularly bar this, there's no huge red flags that you can see.
Okay.
You also get the somewhat hesitant but support of the temple for this. So you're like, we'll go along with it for now. No one's going
giving
to
me the side eye.
Yeah. Well, like they're just, you think it's more just they're not sure, right? It's like we trust you, but we also are going to keep an eye on this because this is literally unprecedented. But then again, no one's really seen a talking sentient gelatinous cube before, so they're like, maybe this is some sort of sign this is supposed to happen. Who knows? And we don't want the Church of Bane to get in on this. Like, that'd be a disaster.
Right.
So you have a few choices here. You can attempt to stay here and assist him in his training. You can put him in the hands of the temple. I know, Mark, you said you were going to do what sidekick?
We decided on warrior.
Warrior. So are you
Because
going
that's-
any
monkey.
spell casting or clerical or paladin
No.
stuff at all? Okay.
I mean, so okay, hang on. Let me walk that back a step. So from what I read, and feel free to correct me because I
Mhm.
don't have the actual books. There's only 3 sidekick classes.
Yes, that's right.
So warrior is it. There's no paladin.
Yeah, so the closest thing you have to paladin is honestly the spellcaster with the clerical bent.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And as I mentioned to my fellows here, the highest level spell he would ever get is 5th level, and even that isn't until he's at level bajillion.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Okay. Well, 'cause there's
a-
2 ways I kind of saw this going. One is that we get clearance and we go for it and see how far this takes us, or we just go the warrior route and you train Glabogul and I take the Qui-Gon Jinn approach of like, well, screw the council. I'm going to teach him to be a cleric regardless, and we do it on the way back to the, as we're adventuring as we go back to the Underdark.
yeah. I will admit, one thing I was thinking a little bit ish was that, for lack of a better way to put it, that he would be a cleric of Kelemvor in lore, and in stats, he would be a warrior.
Yeah, well, I mean, like the temple could still train him as a warrior type. I mean, they don't just do spellcasters.
I know. You get my point, right? Like,
Yeah.
The two are in conflict a little bit because he can't
Mhm.
just become a paladin.
I thought we were going for monk though.
Well, so the idea was monk if it was an if-then statement. If we didn't, if he didn't want to join Kelemvor, if Kelemvor didn't want him, we were going monk. Now we're going monk. Totally not a monk. Wink, wink.
Spoiler, still monk.
But yeah, totally still a monk.
Okay.
It's actually a warrior because
Yeah.
sidekick system. But
When you were saying paladin, I'm thinking the actual paladin class as opposed to.
I mean, if
monk
we could
that
turn him
is
into a legit paladin class, done. Like I said,
How
as
would
I
we get
as I mentioned
armor on
before,
him?
he
I'm
doesn't
just
need
saying.
armor.
Well, okay, fair enough. Yes, but like,
But this is why I asked third earlier, because like I said, over the years, many years at this point, GMs have approached class levels on non-PC races differently, and
Mhm.
some have just said screw it, they can gain paladin levels now, and some say, well, they have to take I don't remember what it's called, like the level deficit or whatever,
Right.
which I
Yeah.
hate, by the way.
So, I mean, in theory, you could start giving him levels in the paladin class. You'd have to probably do a lot of on-the-fly rulings and changes to it, because it's not really designed to be applied to monsters.
Yeah. And so that's why I started this whole conversation by asking you, third, the GM, what you thought about that.
Yeah. I mean, if someone wants to keep it up as a paladin, they can. But it'd probably depend on them to keep up his stuff, because it gets a lot more complicated as soon as you start trying to do player classes on monsters.
No, I agree. So it is. I am going to make you decide though, third, because you're the GM, and that's going to be the most headache to you.
Yeah. I mean, if I had to choose, I'd probably just stick with the side class thing.
Okay, so he's a warrior.
okay,
In lore, he's totally following Kelemvor.
that yeah, still working on that.
Yep.
See what that goes.
Like a bit of a distinction there, but
Okay.
Could be a Padawan of Kelemvor. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, that's kind of where we're going with this.
It's a Kellum turn.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
All right. Yep. That's canon now.
Yep, that's good. I like that. Hey, just better.
It's religious canon.
Yeah.
Okay. So with all of this stuff together, you've spent about 8 days in this city so far.
Do we still
Less
need
than I
more
thought.
for the Kelemvor
Clearance.
attunement clearance? Yeah.
Blessing. if you
Or
will.
are we nixing that since he's not actually going to have player classes?
That's a good question. We could, I mean, you keep joking about the Qui-Gon thing, but we could literally just Qui-Gon it. Just say, yeah, no, you're following Kelemvor. Let's go.
I think we
just
could like have that
bypass
as like
the
an
church.
ongoing process that we're like like we travel, we rest for the night. During my prayers, I try and commune with Kelmvor or continue the ceremony as I can, and look through religious teachings to see if I can find any sort of like a lawyer would look for precedent for and of any kind, like, hey, this corollary meets with this, therefore I can assume that this might be okay because of this reason, and then
we found some case law about this.
Exactly. Like,
as a further aside too, we so as an idea, one thing we could do is we could try to see either in town in the merchants or with the church if they have like a Kellenvor Bible or a Kellenvor Historium, something.
Oh yeah, I mean, with that 5 days of stuff you did, you can pull all that together. Like that's not a problem.
So like you get the idea, right? Like you actually have the book with you, and you could peruse and research and cross-reference on the road as an overnight thing, as a way to continue this. So you don't have to just rely on your knowledge checks, in other words.
Yeah. So Taston, with that stuff you did, the religious service, Lung Krellin, I mean, at this point, if you need stuff for him that a new initiate would receive, they'll give it to you. They'll give it to him, rather.
Okay.
They don't particularly know where he's going to keep it, but because he can't carry it because it'll just dissolve.
Right. Yeah. No. Like I
need a way to carry things. This gets very bothersome all the time. I'm going to read a lot of books. I'll need a way to actually hold them.
Could we etch the teachings into a steel plate and then let him carry the steel plate?
Stone tablets.
Stone tablet.
I'm trying to picture how tiny that font would have to be.
Yeah.
No, just the kind of the Cliff Notes major versions.
I mean, if you want to give him the 10 commandments,
just
commandments. Right.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not create undead. Number one on the list. That's a no-go.
It's like, hey, everybody, I just want to let you know, you're doing what? Creating undead in my presence? So
he just like rolls up. Do you have a moment to talk about our Lord and Savior Kelmvor?
I mean, honestly, unless you get into magic or some other complicated stuff, he's going to have a hard time carrying stuff around.
I've been trying to think of a magic solution for this, but I admittedly have not come up with one yet. I'll take suggestions if you know any that are out of character.
So you need something that he can attune to, but he can't be touching it because he's just going to dissolve it eventually.
Dimension door.
Wait. Okay.
What do you
Hear
got?
me out. An immovable rod, okay? And you've got them on like a scroll that hangs from it. And so he just grabs the rod and you just kind of carry them. The rod's fine. It's a magic item and it's metal. And then, he just kind of holds it out there or keeps it for several. And then he never needs it to read it. He just unrolls it and it'll just sit there in front of him because it's an immovable rod.
That could work.
No, it's a terrible idea. I got nothing. I know magic items are more resistant to dissolving, but that they're resistant. They're not immune.
Yeah.
Right. I think you would probably need to get something, unless, I mean, you can go searching for sure.
Acid resistant. Yeah, you know what? Real talk, can we enchant an item with acid resistance? Is that possible?
What about, how about this? How about a gem sculptor of some point of some sort who could sculpt a gem set of scales, like a symbol or a gem holy symbol that he could attune to that and he could hold on to and can't dissolve it because it's gems.
You could do that. You'd have to get it custom crafted, obviously, but yes.
Right. Okay.
We're in a good town to do something like that if we want to go with that route.
We could search, see what we come up with.
Yep. I mean, you could try and commission one. You could do a search and see if you just happen to get lucky.
Liam's got a bad idea. What do you got?
No,
it's brilliant.
Here we go. Here it comes.
Okay. I'm ready.
I'll set him on fire.
Secret chest.
Okay. Go on.
So, I mean, someone would have to be able to cast the spell.
That'd be you.
Probably.
Yeah.
Let me pull up the spell here.
Didn't we get a secret chest that was holding on to something from Gracklestug? I
That
can't
was a
remember what-
temporary thing.
Of course
They were
it-
holding
of
the
course it
mirror in
was.
escrow.
Right.
technically.
Right. Damn it. Thought we had something here. Okay.
So you hide a chest and all of its contents on the ethereal plane. You must touch the chest and the miniature replica that serves as a material component for the chest. The chest can contain up to 12 cubic feet of non-living material. While the chest remains on the ethereal plane, you can use an action to touch the replica to recall the chest. It appears in an unoccupied space within 5 feet. You can send the chest back to the ethereal plane by using an action and touching both the chest and the replica. So you're still touching it, but it's just brief enough to make contact. You don't have to hold on to it per se. Regardless, the replica and the chest itself can be metal.
I think you have to keep
After 60 days.
recasting it. So I think the replica, let's see. If I recall correctly, the replica is the expensive thing, but once you have that, you basically just have to keep recasting it and it'll work, right?
Exquisite chest constructed of rare materials worth at least 5,000 gold, and a tiny replica made from the same materials worth at least 50 gold.
And the part I'm reading says after 60 days, there's a cumulative 5% chance per day that the spell's effect ends. This effect ends if you cast the spell again. So it's got a duration, kind of. But I don't see why you can't just recast it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I mean, that'd work. It is definitely expensive, but for sure it'd work for him.
So do we want to go that route, or would it be less expensive to try and get the custom crafted gem focus?
What does the focus do?
It's something he can attune to as a holy
Or
symbol. So, as a holy symbol.
oh, okay.
So I guess you need to learn secret chest though, because I'm leaving secret
Correct.
chest. I'm guessing you don't have it.
I have access to 5th level spell slots,
Mhm.
but I do not have that spell. So I would have to purchase it or otherwise acquire it.
Well, luckily you're a wizard,
Oh,
so you
what
can
is
just get a scroll from it and be like, haha. So it sounds like you're looking for a secret chest scroll, basically.
I mean, I have the money. I can buy it. I'm assuming.
Right. We'll have to determine that there's actually one here because
Right.
it's a pretty high level scroll.
Between that and the cost of the chests, I'm pretty sure I have enough because of the money that I got from the Dragon's Lair.
And you could ask him to hide other stuff in there too if you want to, I'm sure as well. Okay. So generally finding so let me ask this. Do you want to like actually do like a paid search for this magic item? Because that boosts the chances of finding it. It's basically paying, someone to go out there and help you with finding this stuff who's a specialist.
Sure.
So normally, here's the thing. So finding magic items requires at least 1 work week of effort, which is 5 days, and at least 100 gold in expenses. You can increase the amount of time and money you spend to increase your chances of finding a higher quality item. Behind the scenes, this is kind of how it works. You make a charisma persuasion check, and you get a +1 for every 5 days beyond the first that is spent, and a +1 for every additional 100 gold spent up to a maximum of +10. So you can, if you spend enough time, you can essentially, and enough money, you can essentially be like, I'm going to get this.
Hmm.
How much longer are we spending in town? That's the deciding factor.
Right now, unless something catastrophic comes up, we're going to gear up and go.
So how long did we spend? How long have we spent so far?
8 days.
8 days.
believe.
We still haven't moved past that.
Okay. So I'm assuming we have had this conversation before day 8 at this point.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah,
just
that's
not
fine.
talk to each other. I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I mean, well, yeah, we had that whole "what do we want to do" topside conversation probably on day 1, honestly.
Right.
So, yeah, no, we probably already talked this out. World, and we probably, if we're being honest, have effectively already geared up. You know, we have provisions. We have bacon, very important.
Always.
Salted pork, gotta have it. We've got fresh water skins, fresh change of clothes, all the basics.
We did the
And
laundry.
whatever scrolls you got. Yeah, we did the laundry. We needed it again. Very again. So yeah, I imagine that what's actually going to happen here is once we decide what we have done, we're leaving on morning of 9.
So I'm assuming we had this conversation either day 2 or day 3.
What you're saying is you
Yeah.
want to be doing this in the meantime while this is happening. Is that right?
It's not day 8 and we're deciding to do this now because then it's going
Right.
to take another week. So we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense.
basically, is it day 3 and I have 5 days left, or is it day 2 and I have 6 days left, which would give me a +1 because of the extra day?
So it works in increments of work week, so it's every 5. So an additional day here or there is not going to matter for this.
Oh, you need a full week to get a
Right.
+1. Missed
Oh,
that.
wow.
Okay,
Yep.
then never mind. In that case, it doesn't really matter.
Mhm.
So day 2
So
or
the
3.
other- the only other question is how much do you want to pay trying to find this thing?
So how
I'll
much?
say-
Go ahead.
Yeah, the spell scroll that you're looking for is actually a rare one.
Okay.
So it's not like very rare or legendary, but it's not common either.
So approximately how much is that going to cost?
So the base cost for just doing the look is 100 gold. And then basically up to a maximum of 9 more times, you can spend 100 gold if you spend 1,000 gold on it, you got a +10. If you spend 100 gold, you got a +1. And then you got a range in between increments of 100. And yeah, again, this is also including like lifestyle expenses and stuff in there, because it says you're basically doing a wealthy lifestyle in the meantime because you have to conduct your business with wealthy people.
And how much is the acquisition of the scroll itself going to cost?
Depends on what you find.
Okay.
The guesstimate you would say is probably for a rare one. I mean, it's probably going to be in the 4 digits. Could be in 5, but that'd be a pretty expensive scroll.
I don't think I'd pay that.
Yeah.
I will be right back.
Okay.
It's one of those things where like it's probably not going to be that, but I mean, you've seen it before from certain people, right?
Right.
You happen to find the jerk who's like, "Oh, well, I'm the only one in town. Give me 20,000 for this," even though it's obviously not worth that. No. There are
Right.
those guys. But since it's a scroll, it'll probably be cheaper than the average rare item. Quick, someone roll me a D100. Fantastic. While he's off screen.
85.
Okay, never mind. I forgot to do the complications thing.
Apparently, I didn't write down how much wealth I got from the dragon.
Mark, what is your intelligence modifier?
Now, I don't mean to brag, but I got a +0 to my int.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not negative, at least.
No, I don't have any negatives. But
The only reason I asked is that actually affects training.
oh, So you say you punch stuff, right? Then you got to not be punched. It's very important. So don't be punched, but punch.
Ah, here we go. I did write it down. 18 platinum pieces.
That's how much you have total?
Yes, that's how much I grabbed from the dragon because I wasn't being greedy.
Okay, so
Each platinum is 100 gold or 1,000 gold.
it's 10 gold.
10. Oh, that's not as much as I thought.
Yeah, I thought you grabbed a bunch of gems though, which is where most of it came from.
And I sold the potion and the other potion.
Mhm.
I didn't write
'Cause
down what I
I'm
got for those.
pretty. I know you spent some of it in Gracklestug, but I'm pretty sure most of your wealth came from like selling or having gems and selling some other items.
Yeah. Okay, so the base week, so we get no bonus from that. It's 100 gold for that week. So I'm going to do an extra 500 gold.
Okay.
That's a +5. And then it's charisma check, you said?
Charisma persuasion.
Yeah.
So if you got a bonus of that, you can use that as well.
Persuasion. So that's a +6. 14.
14. Okay. Go ahead and roll me a d4 in that case.
4 is a 1.
A 1? Okay. All right. So good news and bad news. The good
Mhm.
news is you do find one.
Okay.
The bad news is that it's basically a personal sale. It's like you find a person who has one. It's not somebody who has like a wide selection. Because they don't seem to like have like that in stock at any large vendor. It's basically just been asking around people, and someone happens to have one because they're traveling through. One of the wealthier mercantile people.
Okay.
And he is asking about 4K for it.
All right, now, Liam, I just want to remind you that you're evil. So if you want to rob this guy, that is something that you can get away with as long as you don't tell us about it.
I mean, probably.
Yes, but
Ironically, I'm probably the best thief in the party because I've got sleight of hand, pickpocketing, high dex, and stealth. But
I might be evil, but I'm still lawful evil.
he is charging too much for this style.
He's charging a bit much. I mean, it's true. But he also
You could
knows
see
that
if his
he's
shop
about the
has
only
any
option.
violations that you can report to the
That's true.
city guards.
And then
which
just
would
bring
be
up a little bit of a
lawful.
list, be like, I'm willing to look over these for a little bit of a discount.
So let me scroll to the crime section real quick.
Yeah, hold on.
Because there is robbery of prosperous merchants and stuff. I'm not gonna lie though, failing this is pretty bad.
Intimidation check?
It's fine. We'll just run down the danger bar.
Are you trying to intimidate him to give it to you for cheaper? Is that what's going on?
Well, actually, I was wondering what the crime check would fall under.
So I mean, it kind of depends on what you want to do. But an intimidation check could factor into it. Generally, you've got to make 3 different types of checks to actually pull it off if you're doing something. I mean, if you're just walking up to someone and be like, give it to me or I'll kill you, then like that's a straight up intimidation. But if you're actually trying to do something to pin something on them or something like that, then it's a little more complicated.
I love the idea of the blackmail. I don't think I highly doubt that I can get away with that on my own. I doubt that we could do it as a group.
I mean, honestly, my character would be like, dude, what the hell?
I'll say, so you can make a lot of money doing crime. Like, honestly, one of these is like, oh, here's 1,000 gold crime possibility.
So it's a heist.
Really hard, though. It's a heist. Yeah.
You can make so much money doing crime. I'm going to quote you.
Who knew?
Just in general.
We just need a clip of that for the stream.
If none of the checks are successful, the character is caught and jailed. Must pay a fine equal to the profit they would have earned and spend 1 week in jail for each 25. Oh, yeah, you can go away for a long time if you get caught trying to do a heist from one of the richest figures in town. Like, that's like a new character.
Well, now hang on. Jailbreak at that point.
It becomes a jailbreak.
Well, I mean, if we use like Hitman rules, I mean, if there's no one left to witness, there's no witnesses.
The murder hobo route. Yeah. There's also gambling. Oh,
yeah.
You've already done pit fighting before.
Well, Ron did.
Ron did, that's true.
Yeah. Oh, but Clavicle could.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna come back to the group. Well, my idea for Glavagul's suitcase doesn't look like it's going to work out.
Oh, that's a shame. Tasden, have you had a chance to check out with the gemsmiths in town, see if they found it all?
Let me consult my my memory.
Well, are you just wanting a holy symbol? Is that it?
A holy symbol that he can actually hold and attune to without it.
Okay. I would say if it's not a magic item one, then the temple would be willing to provide him for one for free, just because of your convincing that you have done.
Okay.
If it's actually a magic item one, then we'll talk. But
would it corrode though?
I mean, not if it's made of like a gem or stone or something like that.
Okay.
So it's gonna look blingy for sure. But
what color is Glavagul?
Glavagul is green.
Why don't we get him like a ruby?
I say that I say green, but that's like his shimmer. Like if he's standing still, it's actually more transparent than anything else.
Oh, okay.
It's like when he's moving, you kind of see the green.
So I've got a better idea. Why don't we get him like an emerald holy symbol that you can't even see in him? Like most people won't even see it there.
Mm.
Right there.
We could do that, or I do still have one of the fire opals if that could be fashioned into a holy symbol.
It could be. If that is what you desire.
I don't know if the size is right, or if it's something that's actually
size matters not.
Yes, of course. Gemsmith is very short and green and speaks very strangely.
Yes.
Size matters not, does it?
Craft
Need more gold, do I?
All right. So unless there's like any particular rush, he can put that in line and get it to you in about 5 days.
Perfect. So about 5 days ago, we did that.
You put some trust in that we'd actually pass. I see.
Look, I'm just saying.
If you're using your own materials, yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I guess you can expense it to the temple afterwards, since you actually did succeed. Okay. Yep. So you've got a fire opal, holy symbol of Kellamvor. This is one of those things where if you slay a random monster, you're like, oh, it's interesting they have this. Oh well, pocket it.
I was just thinking, this is how random loot happens.
This is how random loot happens.
We're designing it.
Mm-hmm.
Behind the scenes look. We got the opal.
Oh, sorry, I have to do one thing real quick. And that's
fire giants attacked the town while we're here.
That would be
apparently. Oh, actually, just for fun. So could you say someone tries to mug me at some random point?
So there's something that happens.
Oh, here we go. I'm ready.
Yeah. So you are presenting this, fire opal holy symbol to Glavagul, and he's ecstatic about this. He's like, "Oh boy, I've never been a religious person before. I guess I should start now." No, he is actually taking it pretty seriously. He realizes that this is a really serious thing. You also explained to him about all this stuff. You give him the primer, right? So he's like, "Oh, this is really serious." It's like talking to a kid about it, but he's paying attention.
If I may, I also think he would be pretty anti-undead, just in general, given what he's already been through. At this
he is now.
Well, no, I mean, like, because he doesn't want skeletons to be getting up in the middle of him and walking out of him. That's just awful.
No, I mean that's terrible, especially if like his friends and Kellenbor's against it. He's like, oh, like no way, down with undead, down into the grave where they belong.
Yes.
And he's like, I promise I will destroy all script related to undead. And he's like, oh well,
Yeah, we'll work on that.
yeah. But
So Glabagul
You
is
know,
not down with the sickness.
he's not down with the sickness, no. Although he's very suggestible. So there is someone you've never seen before who comes into Temple of Kelevor. It looks like a pretty finely dressed woman who has a lot of jewelry and stuff on her. And she is coming in here with a purpose, and you don't think it's to make an offering. Who would have been the one who placed the order for the fire opal?
I mean,
I'd
tested.
imagine
these
it would have been
probably.
me since I had
Okay.
them and had the wand.
So she approaches you, Tast, and says, that is a very fine piece of work that you've done there. I've never seen such a beautiful holy. Who would have thought of making a holy symbol out of a fire opal? It's very, very unique. I must have it. I'll offer you 500 gold for it.
I thank
I'm
you.
not
for
interested in
the-
hearing no.
Well, I apologize, and I must beg your forgiveness. But unfortunately, the symbol was already spoken for during its creation.
You can always get another one, can't you? Surely you wouldn't refuse this. I know how much these things cost. I'm sure it's more than you've seen in your entire life.
Gonna let that slide.
Especially
Testa
considering
just looks to the camera for a second.
Yeah, considering I still have 2 more in my inventory. Sure, let's go with that.
especially
Okay.
considering how much the fire opal actually costs.
Yes, 500 gold.
Also-
That's my final offer for that workmanship. I must have it in my manor.
I understand your want and your taste in gems is, of course, unquestionable, as we know its true value. But again, I must say, it's been spoken for my colleague here, and I gesture to Globagul, which that's going to go over well.
He says hello, and he waves it in the air, like just not realizing he's taunting her with it. So
Okay.
you can hear her just grinding her teeth. She drops the facade and she says, "Well, fine, if you wanted to be stupid about this, just so you know." And she pokes her finger into your chest. I will have that emerald. She says the wrong thing.
I wish you the best of luck at finding that particular. Okay, yes.
She turns around in a huff and then stomps out.
So, as I turn and say bye, Felicia, I will turn to one of the clergyman temple stewards and say, "Is this a common occurrence?"
He says, no.
Do you know
Generally?
who that is?
No idea. No, I'm a little bit surprised that you didn't offer to sell it, but I mean, I'm also glad at the same time that you value religious ceremony more than getting a bunch of money from a noble.
No, my friend here, he earned it first and foremost.
Mhm.
On an unrelated note, she has no idea what the worth of that was, considering we had to go through quite a task to get it.
Oh, I mean, she has no idea.
But that's neither here nor there. Should we be concerned? I'd imagine maybe not, since you don't know who this individual is, so they may not be a person of high station in this city, or at least somebody who's known.
He says, well, I'll say this. I don't know who this person is. I don't particularly see this a whole lot in the temple, but I absolutely does not surprise me that somebody with a little too much money and a little, well, not enough sense in their head would come down and try and offer an obscene amount for something they saw as just a petty art trinket to put under their wall. I can imagine many people in this city who would do that. It doesn't surprise me.
So I turn to the rest of the group. Mark, Liam, do you think we should track this down or leave this as an unknown interesting thing and move on?
So okay. In real life, I don't know, but like, there's got to be a gem that looks like a fire opal. You know, like even vaguely. You know.
The fire opal?
No. I mean, okay. Like, you know how
So-
and this is true in real life. Most people can't identify gems on site. They're like, oh, it's a ruby. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a diamond. No, that's quartz.
So a shimmering piece of red glass might be able to pass for.
Like, you
a
get
fire
yeah,
opal
you
if
get
we,
where
if
I'm
we
going
get it
with
just
this.
right. Yeah.
Like, I don't care about the money, and 500 gold is a pittance to all of us. No, the point is to get her off our back.
Right.
What are we gonna
So
say?
we don't need that
see.
kind of heat.
Maybe a bit of amber, carnelian, tavazite, sulfur, I guess. Those are kind of close to fire opal colors.
I'm assuming fire opals come in a variety of colors. So, saying one looks like a fire opal is probably not an accurate statement because 20 could look like a fire opal.
That's true. So you get my point, though. What that is my suggestion is we get a fake gem that is substantially less valuable. I don't even mean the money value. Just like we got this from the freaking dragon's lair in the Underdark for our friend. So get something less valuable. Say, hey, can you carve this into this symbol? Be like, you know what? Here. If we really want to be conniving about it, I'll make the transaction. I'll say, so hey, I heard you was in the market for this, and just play it up,
Mhm.
And then she'll leave us alone because
So I would say with that, I'm as hilarious as it would be to sell a complete cheap knockoff for the 500 gold. I'd rather see if there's a way we could just cut. Oh, okay. I'm willing. Okay, all right.
Hold
What do
on,
you
the
got?
evil character has an idea.
Yeah,
Hang
wait.
on.
Yeah, this
So-
is wait. No, I gotta hear
so
this.
did
This is
you
gonna be
know
good.
that delayed blast fireball, the gem it appears as for a second,
Of course. of
actually
course.
looks a lot like a fire opal? And
So if we cast it, it's just the right angle. No.
Okay, you're gonna hate this.
Right?
Okay, looking at pictures of fire opals, we create I'll say glob of glass
Mhm.
with phasers in it.
Oh. That's just mean on top of mean.
But it would look like a fire opal.
Okay, fine, but I guess, but Hmm.
no. Just no.
Calibor, while
Absolutely
neutral, I
not.
don't believe is vindictive.
Just no.
But I give you a lot of points for style on that one.
See, Bragwood's on the right page.
Bragwood's evil.
I just-
Don't listen to
I mean,
her.
That's the thing is like I don't have a problem doing this. I just have a problem getting monetary gain from this. It's like it's one thing to dupe the person because they're just a jerk, and I get that, and I'm on board with that. But at the same time, like, yes, a fool and their money is soon parted, and I get that as well. But like my character would have trouble with like, yeah, sure, we reconsidered. Here's the thing, and 500 seems like a reasonable price, and meanwhile, don't look over here with the gelatinous cube that still has it.
Have either of you or any of you, sorry, ever watched? There's a web comic where it's Star Wars, but they're playing D&D. Like it's a bunch of players playing D&D.
Isn't that Darth and Droids?
Darth and Droids, that's it.
Okay.
And Star Wars is the game they're playing, and so
Okay.
it's reinventing the story a bit to match the campaign. But it's making a lot of the ridiculous stuff that happens in Star Wars just ridiculous things players do. So there's this great scene. It's in episode 3 specifically, if you remember that off the top of your head, and it's the bit where everyone's like on board with Anakin becoming Emperor of the Galaxy, and Anakin's being played by a player, obviously.
Okay.
And Obi-Wan's being played by a player, and everyone's looking at the player playing Obi-Wan like, why aren't you on board with this? And he's like, because I put good on my character sheet and I bloody well meant it. And I'm just reminded of that right now for some strange reason. I don't know. Just had to share that.
Is anyone proficient with the jeweler's tools by chance?
I think I actually
don't
might be.
believe
Hang
I
on.
am.
Scroll up. Come on, scroll up. No.
I have sleight of hand, just stealth, disguise.
Whatever.
technique,
Let's just let her
tools.
try to steal it because that's what's going to happen. And then we'll steal it back.
So,
I'll steal it back.
Or we leave the mock one out and let her steal that, and then
There you go. That we've got. Okay, so let's do it. Let's
problem
do it.
solved.
All right. Hey, dude, I want a fire opal looking chunk of glass with phaserist in it.
Oh, so
And I
you
want-
do want
Really?
that?
You're really bent on this. Okay, you're really bent on this phasers angle.
I'm
huh?
just
Okay.
saying we need to poison her with evil energy from the Underdark. I think that's what she needs in her
Wow.
life for the next 5 minutes. She's gonna have it.
It's gonna sell the illusion.
Oh
mean,
my god.
The reason I asked about the jeweler's tools is one of the things you can do if you're trained in it is modify a gem's appearance.
Oh.
Okay.
But it doesn't sound like anyone's trained in that. So
Hey, does anybody at this temple have training in jeweler's tools?
you're going to ask a
Hard
bunch
no.
of priests to
It's a
participate in the
cleric
con?
thing. It's a cleric thing.
To forge or something.
Listen, I want you to forge this thing to fool this idiot. I'm going to phrase it that way.
No, nobody has jeweler's tools.
To the
Proficiency
surprise
here.
of very few.
I rolled for it. Nobody does.
Okay, fine. Whatever. Fine. She'll rob it. We don't have the thing. Whatever. I'm good. I'm more out of character than in character at this point, anyways, because I know she's going to try to rob it. And I know it's going to turn into a quest. And I don't care. Whatever. Let's do it. Let's go. What happens next, third?
So wait a minute. Are you changing your mind about the replica?
I mean, nobody seems to be on board with that idea.
I'm
And-
fine with the replica. It's just it's the phasers part I'm having a little bit of trouble with. It's like,
Why? Phasers is the best part. No, I'm joking.
oh, it's dark.
I'm joking.
It's dark.
I'm joking.
It's like,
Okay,
take
We're
this
gonna put-
nice
okay,
shiny rock.
okay,
It
hold on.
glows. Wait,
I'm
what does
gonna
that Geiger counter say?
okay.
Why is it radioactive?
I'm gonna solve our problem here.
Oh, great. Here we go.
Fireball.
Regardless of the outcome of this conversation,
Okay.
I'm going to find a glass blower that can
Okay.
create this replica.
Okay.
And I'm going to have them put the phaserus in it, regardless of the outcome of this conversation.
Meanwhile, I'll just be, oh, that was weird, and then not know anything about this.
Yeah, I'm back to training, globular,
Okay.
and punching. That's what I'm doing. My life.
So let me see. So the
Diabolical.
glass blowing is the simple part. Putting phasers inside one of these things is probably something that you would actually be just about the only person in the city who really know what they were doing, Liam.
Using a
So how do you
magical
wanna
ability
approach
to put
this?
a magic screwing up phasers into it. Oh boy, I see this going bad.
Not my problem.
Okay. Cut to exterior shot of house that Liam is doing this in. Explosion ensues.
Okay. Can I use Mage Hand to hold on to the phaserus so it doesn't like melt?
Hold on to the phaserus so it doesn't melt.
As they're putting it into the blown glass.
Ew,
Exactly, Bregwin.
so it's going to be more of a thing where they have to kind of craft it, and then you're going to have to do like the actual infusion. Or actually, do you already have something? Oh wait, you have that distilled version of it, don't you? Is that what you're talking about? You did something to capture some of it at some point in time, didn't you?
Oh no, I have the so I have the demon eye core. I have
God.
That'd be worse.
We have something for you.
Oh no.
I do love how this is turning into the scene from Infinity War where they're
So I
Trying to
guess
build
my question is:
Stormbreaker.
are you trying to like what are you trying for the effect in this?
I'm just trying to make it look like it's one of the fire opals.
Okay, so
And-
you're not really you're just trying to make it weave and that sort of stuff. You're not really having it be like a proper magic item. Or anything
No,
like that.
no, I don't want it to become a magic item. I just want it like captured within the glass so it makes it look like a fire opal.
Okay.
And so the next time she gets something enchanted, it explodes.
yeah,
Well, that's
there
not
it
my
is.
problem.
Yeah, that's it. Sounds like a her problem.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll do this. You will have to assist the person in doing this because they really don't know how to. We've put Phaserus in something. They don't even know what Phaserus is.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Do you have any captured Phaserus, or is this something
Yes.
you're going to have to? Okay. So they're like, "Ooh, what's that?" There's like a little gnome who's going to be doing this.
Let me just put it this way. You don't want to be using magic around it.
Oh, well, I mean, basically, like half the stuff in my shop is magical, so we'll do it on the other side.
It's probably...
What's it going to do, or do I not want to know?
It's just complicates things.
Oh, that's perfect. I love just putting things that only complicate things in my crafting work. Okay. You are proficient in Arcana skill, so that's not a problem. This is simple enough as long as you assist him. I'll say this: he'll do it like within the next day because he's just kind of curious what you want to do with this.
Okay.
Although it'll cost 25 gold for the total crafting, so
Okay.
that includes
Steal
materials, his
twice the
work, and all that
price.
sort of stuff. And nice. Rolled 69. All right. Okay. So no complications as far as you can tell. It looks actually rather nice, which is what the gnome says. He says, "Oh, this worked out pretty well. I mean, if you have any more of that stuff, I'd love to get it and sell it. I'll probably have to find a wizard or something myself, maybe a hedge wizard to help me put it in. But is there any trick to this sort of stuff? What'd you call this stuff again?"
It's called Phaserus. I got it in the Underdark.
No, it sounds Elven. I don't know. All right. Well, if it comes from the Underdark, I'm sure it's probably no good. So I just won't tell people about that. All right. Well, here's your thing.
All right. I pay him.
All right. You have your phasers, Jim. I mean, if somebody held them up side by side, they'd probably be able to tell. But you get the feeling it will probably fool this particular person if they look at it.
All right.
Phase 2.
So
Phaserus too.
I'll go back to the group and see what's been happening since we had this conversation. See if you guys are still arguing about it.
No, I've let go of this, honestly.
Yeah.
My biggest goal, and this is not a joke, is I want as much meat to be fed to Bren and Glabagol before we leave. I want them nice and happy before we go back to hell, where they will probably not have meat for weeks.
Bren looks like a barrel. He's like, "Oh,
So good."
Okay, not that much.
And then the day before we actually plan to take off, as Mark said, we're gonna all as a group go out into a field and just lay in the sun.
Oh yeah.
I hadn't actually forgotten. I was going to do that at the end.
Yeah, it's like gotta.
That's going to be the final step of. We're probably never seeing that again.
Yep.
I would recommend, if you're gonna lay in the grass before we go back underground, there's a lovely patch by the farms that we came out next to.
Good call. Very nice family of gnomes live there. Sorry, half.
They did before the three-headed sheep ate them.
We hope not.
I'm honestly expecting that on the way back, but we'll see.
We'll see.
It's gonna be that, isn't it?
Yeah, it totally is.
So I'm gonna go back to this noble.
Okay. Well, do you go ahead and make a charisma persuasion check? You kind of have to find who this person is.
Charisma persuasion. That's a +3. Persuasion. No, it's +5. All right. 15.
15. Okay. So it's thanks to your background as well. You're able to ask around, and you do find this particular person, generally known as Lady Cho. And she is apparently a known figure amongst the I want to just buy everything's things because they look cute, things like that crowd.
Okay.
known as just a general socialite. But you are directed towards her manor,
Okay.
and it's got some hired private guards there. There are a couple of people just camped out on the front. Looks like some collars or something like that for heralds, things like that. The guards at the front ask what particular business you have.
I have something the lady desires.
You're not supposed to be here till 5. Also, she said no orcs.
Yeah, he looks up and down and says, I highly doubt that. No, no, they do ask exactly what is that.
Let her know that it's something that she saw from the Temple of Cuillin before.
Yes. Oh. All right. We got to see it first.
I will cast. I guess prestidigitation would work.
Oh, okay.
Just to create basically
Do you
the
think he was going
image.
to cast Fireball?
I thought he was going to
thinking-
cast some sort of charm. I was like, there's a whole bunch of people around here.
with the phasers he's currently holding.
Yeah, I was
This'll
about
go
to say,
well.
with phaser, it's right there. All right, here we go.
I was like,
And
I
unicorn.
thought they were going to leave town today, but apparently not. Okay, prestidigitation, just to make it presentable.
We're gonna leave town just a lot faster than planned.
And we gotta go.
Okay, as long as it's just prestidigitation.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of the like illusion, but I
Mhm.
think prestidigitation is enough.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and make me another charisma persuasion, but you've got advantage on this. As the other guard's like looking at his list, he's like, there are a bunch of people who are technically important ahead of you.
23 or 11.
Wow. He says, but I can definitely see that this is something that she'd be happy with. So I think it helps us if you go on in and get this off your hands and make the lady real happy. All right. You're not carrying anything illicit or weird, are you?
Just my wizarding
Fine.
stuff. I
Weird.
mean, yeah.
Okay. I mean, as
I'm a
long as you don't
mage,
have like
I got none of the weird stuff.
a hand crossbow with poison darts up your sleeve, then
Is that
Not the
normal?
poison darts.
you have a demon ichor, but like there's no chance they know what that is. You're like, wizarding, potions, yeah, just keep the corks on everything and we'll be fine, right? We do have house wizards who will definitely disintegrate you if you step out of line, just so you know.
I have no intention of.
Standard warning for everybody. That's
I would love it if they're like level 2 wizards.
I know, right?
who knows. Disintegrate's pretty high level, so she's either real rich or they're bluffing. All right.
Exactly.
So yeah, you head in there and you don't necessarily get an audience with her per se, but there is a major domo of sorts who seems to keep tabs on everything that's going around, and he listens to your story and he's like, so she offered you 500.
For the fire
Steph-
rifle.
Yeah, this definitely looks like something she'd want. And like inside, by the way, this looks like one of those restaurants where they have taken every single thing on earth and plastered it up on the wall. It's a little tacky in here,
Oh, God.
but everything in here is at least seemingly expensive. So you think that's the draw, maybe? Yeah. One of those old style manors where they just put up weird stuff all over the place. You're like, well, I haven't seen this before, so maybe it's expensive.
I hate those so much. That's not even nouveau rich. That's just clueless rich.
I was suddenly reminded of the restaurant in Office Space where they have all the bling.
Oh yeah. Need 15 pieces of flair.
Flair, that's what it was. Yeah.
Oh,
Case of the
Actually-
Mondays.
so he'll straight up return offer of 500 gold for it.
Okay.
So how would you like your payment?
In gold, you moron, and you smack it.
I can give you gems, give you platinum. We generally don't deal with individual bits of gold, so I'd probably have to have somebody run and like get the petty cash. But
Cheese wheels.
Platinum and gems will work.
platinum and gems, very good.
They're,
All right, so he brings it out. You've got 20 in plat and the rest in basically miscellaneous gems. So it's easy to carry around, which is the more important thing. And you give it over to him.
He accidentally drops it, and it shatters on the ground.
yes, I give it to him.
Okay, perfect. So just as it's being handed over, like a door that was just slightly cracked flies open, and Lady Cho comes out. She says, "I knew you'd change your mind. I knew you'd change your mind. It's okay. I won't tell your companions that you're here. Don't worry.
I definitely appreciate that, lady.
If you find anything else that is as pretty as, it looks even more beautiful than when I last saw it. Well, this will look fine upon, I think, of that particular spot right there." And she points to this cabinet that has had little trinkets and baubles that have been collecting there. It'll be perfect there. What is your name, sir? You must be new in town. I don't recognize you.
I prefer to remain anonymous.
Oh, a mystery orc. I see. Well, anonymous, if you ever come back, you're more than welcome in my manor.
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
This is either going to bite us in the ass hard, or is just straight hysterical.
Right.
It's beautiful, isn't it? And she motions to one incredibly tacky wall. I've collected all of these throughout the years.
They're lovely, lady.
Roll deception check. Unless you're actually serious.
I have no idea. I have no
or
idea.
Performance. I guess performance would work too.
So it's you said persuasion, or no, you said deception or perform?
Yeah.
Well, they're both +1, so
there you go.
A 13.
Okay. So she's grinning like an idiot over there. So whether or not she can really tell, who knows? But then she pats you on the shoulders and says, "Well, anonymous orc, I must be back to my busy work. I have to sign 5 documents today." Oh, and then she goes back to the other room.
Can I
Condolences.
sneak into there and break her neck?
Just slowly wrap.
We can go back to the crime section of here.
Around the neck, and she's like, "What's happening? Don't worry, it's all the rage up in Waterdeep."
All this, erotic asphyxiation. I've heard this before.
Yep. It's going to be feeling really great, and then you'll pass out. But don't worry, that's part of the process. There we go.
All right.
All right. So I'm gonna go back to the group.
Mm-hmm.
I am, however, going to split up the hall. So I basically have 100 gold worth in one bag, 100 worth gold in another, and then 300 gold worth in a third. So I'll take the 300, and I'm going to give a bag of the 100 to both Taston and Mark.
You're just going to get an eyebrow from me, like.
Just toss it over. There's your share. Same with you, Taston. There's your share.
Look at the bag. Look at Liam. Look at the bag. Okay. So I'm actually gonna give the bag that you hand to me to Cuillin to get geared up before we leave.
Okay.
Armor, sword, shield, what have you. All the get him because he didn't have the same gear when he came back.
Right.
So
actually, what
I don't know if 100 gold's going to be enough. I can actually help him with that as well, depending on what they have at the temple.
Here's a problem. Unfortunately, armor is very expensive. So armor in particular. I mean, he can wear like heavy armor, so he can go all the way up to plate if you needed. Problem is, plate is like 1,500 gold. Yeah, a lot of people don't have that, so it's not a requirement. Let's see, what would be something good that would benefit him? So he could get some chainmail for 75 gold.
Okay.
Is that
And that would give him an AC of 16.
And then we'll start him out with that, and then we'll see if there's any sort of options once we get back to Gracklestug.
weapon and shield?
Yeah,
Is he sword and board or what?
I think he's sword and board. Typical. What I didn't dig too deep in what to the standard paladin equipment for Kalimvor would be, but I'd imagine it's something along those lines.
Yeah, when he came out, he was doing a two-handed sword deal, but
Okay. Skip the board, all sword.
I mean, Kalimvor is generally a sword wielder.
Okay.
Let's see.
Which is why I think I got away with that too.
Yeah. I mean, he can keep what he's got now, and it should work for him. The armor would be a great help, though, because he really does not want to wear that other stuff. As a matter of fact, he doesn't have it anymore. So
No, I made sure to actually like jettison that as soon as we could.
Yep. But yeah, so it basically goes, so ring mail is 30 gold, and it's AC 14, chainmail is 75 at 16, and then it starts to go up to like 200 for AC 17, and then plate mail is like the 1,500. So
That'll be
it's
a
like
long-term goal.
noble armor. Yeah.
Actually, to that point, since we're discussing that, he still has my holy symbol, and I still have the one he was wearing when he came out. So I'm going to go ahead and trade that out for a non-tarnished evil version of the holy symbol.
Ah, okay. Yeah, good idea.
Myself.
I mean, you can get those for free at the temple.
Yeah, and burn this forever.
It won't burn, and it just makes demonic howling sounds. No,
that means it's working.
Yeah, I mean, one of the standard temple features is disposing of holy symbols from other less good deities, so they can take care of that. No problem.
Okay.
Definitely the place to take it. Okay, so I'm going to mod his AC real quick. So he has a 16, which is good because he was at a 10, so definitely an improvement. Oh, actually, he was at a 9. Cool.
Well, that won't do.
Yeah. Heavy armor wears. All right, and yeah, so like I actually have him down with a great sword right now, so that'll work for him.
Great.
He's a pretty good damage dealer. Just naturally add a D8 to his melee attacks. Of evil necrotic damage. No, it's radiant.
Great.
Just kidding. All right. Cool. So Ellen says, I hear that there is a nice sunny field that we need to head off to.
Yes.
I'm actually already in it. Just
Wow.
he left.
Wow.
Yeah, Mark left 5 days ago. I don't know if he
I've
told
been
anybody.
out for a while, you know. It's just...
I saw like a cartoonish Roadrunner cloud. behind
Yes.
him.
Dust cloud.
Meep,
All
meep.
right. Anything that you'd like to do
Meat.
before you leave? Last call.
We need I'm actually not joking. We need a legitimately nice. I will pay for this. I will pay gold for this. We need to have like a freaking banquet before we go, because we're going back to the Underdark. We will not eat like this for weeks, months, or years, or ever. Because B, we might not be back.
All
Okay.
fair points.
Yeah,
Good.
definitely a fair point.
So to rent out a tavern.
Yeah, no, we're and it's not just for the three of us. It's for the whole party. We're doing it up.
All right. So
Champagne
let's see.
service, get the crystal.
So just for at least today, you're gonna have food like kings. All right. So is this? So for 2 gold each, you can have an incredible feast for today.
All right, so 4 gold each.
Oh, there's also a banquet too.
Up it.
Banquet is 10 gold per person though.
Done.
We can afford it.
Yeah, we
this is
not
the
only
one.
can
This
we
is the
afford it,
one splurge
literally afford
for a
that.
meal. I think we'll probably do. Yeah, let's do it upright.
Yeah, done. So hang on.
All
So
right.
it's the 3 of us, Bren, Glabagul,
Raylan.
I couldn't remember your brother's name, but yeah, your brother. And I guess that's actually it at this point. It's just the 6 of us, isn't it?
Mhm.
So there you go. 60 gold. Done. I'll pay it out of pocket.
All right. So you find a really, really great hall for this. And this place has a lot of this. And you're able to, and this ain't no Chuck E. Cheese. It's actually like a really nice place.
But for some reason, it still has a ball pit.
It's a Cracker Barrel.
It's a Cracker Barrel, yeah.
No.
Do you have any particular Cracker Barrel? Yeah, that one costs 10 gold. Don't worry about that.
Not so much.
So let's see what Selgon has as far as that goes.
Hey, Zara.
Ooh, so they have a couple of, they've got the local stuff, but they also have some stuff they import as well. So they apparently actually have some very nice banqueting food from the Elven Court here. So you can get a place that specializes in that here, if anyone's interested in it. They also import some stuff. This is another coastal town. So this is going to be seafood, that kind of stuff that they've got. So they've got some nice seafood here.
Thank you, Zara.
They see, are there any famous places here to eat?
Do they have anything from the Stone Dwarves? Like I mean, even Dwarven in general would be nice, but just a little taste.
I mean, yes, but there's nothing particularly special, if that makes any sense. It's like, yeah, you go to a place and you can get good seafood, but the place is not known for seafood. So you're like,
It's like Olive
imagine
Garden.
Well,
that will also
like
be
going
going
breadsticks.
you go to a nowhere place in the Midwestern US and they're like, we got a seafood menu. You're like, do you?
No.
It's like, if I pay a lot for it, it's probably going to be fine, but it's not like it's not like going to California for seafood, if that makes sense, right?
You're not getting fresh lobster in Maine.
Right. These places are a little under that banquet price limit. Yeah, they don't have any particularly notable like food areas. They just have some nice imports and some nice banquet halls and stuff you can rent out. There's some places near the Fire Hare's house, which are actually really nice, which is one of the temples to Sune. So very, very nice area. Very non-tacky looking area too. They actually know how to furnish their places. So that's probably, as far as you can tell, the best place to go. One of the areas around the Fire Hare's house.
Chef Gnome Ramsay.
Chef Gnome Ramsay.
Holding up 2 pieces of bread. What are you? I'm an idiot sandwich.
You go in there and they're like, the stag is raw. There's like a little gnome just throwing people around.
I'm sorry.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a nice meal, probably the nicest one I'm guessing that a lot of you have had and maybe ever. Liam, you probably have had things like this before, I imagine, with your background.
But it has been a while.
It has been a while, and still, this is a pretty good one. It's got a mixture of local sea cuisine and
I need the both of you to roll charisma checks of some kind.
Oh, this will go well.
No, well, it might.
roll con save versus poison.
Yeah.
I knew it. I've been waiting.
No reason.
It's okay. I'm a dwarf and a monk.
What?
Bring
I'm
it.
so dead.
Yeah, Taston's dead, but I'm fine.
So they've got some nice fruit here as well. They've got nice grapes, melons. They actually do have some good bird here. They've got some nice goose here. So a couple of elven embellishments as well, just because of the imports. So nothing to sneeze at.
So do persuasion checks, guys.
Okay. Uh, 20, not natural. I rolled 19 on the die.
Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
Nice. Well, see, I have a +0 to my charisma and my persuasion, so that will also give me a 20.
Nice. Okay. What I was doing is your roll versus my passive insight.
Mm-hmm.
Because of how good the food is, and I'm assuming I'm drinking. I'm feeling very comfortable with the conversation.
Okay.
And so I am going to divulge bits of my noble history to you guys.
Oh, okay.
Telling you about, how I came from a noble family. And so this kind of thing is what I used to be accustomed to and miss, and just general background stuff that you have not known anything about my background like this before.
Mhm.
So just flavor.
I am enraptured by this because growing up, my parents had an inn, nothing like this, like in the middle of kind of nowhere. It was like base level functionality. And then when they passed away and we had to kind of grow up on the streets before Cuillin and I were brought into the temple to be raised up there, this is like beyond opulent to us. So hearing your stories about this being something you were used to and accustomed to on a regular basis, we're both of us are just amazed and are like, this is something that like full scale royalty eats. It's beyond understanding.
I'm going to jump in and I'm going to say, you know what? If we live through all this nonsense we're about to jump into, this should be our goal right here. Just to have access to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
To be able to eat like this on a right. We don't have to
make this
every
a thing.
Day. But yeah. To be able to eat like this on a regular basis, if we choose to be at that level of comfort and retirement, after all we have done already and are going to do in the near future. Like that's retirement goal right there.
Sure.
It's that or inside a beholder, one of the two. I'm not sure which I prefer, but
A or B.
Yeah, it's whatever. I'm also going to admit to the group, give a little bit of my backstory. So I'm actually have a twin brother, and I was the one born with like all the clerics when I was born. They're like, oh my God, he's got some great destiny and everything's so wonderful and awesome for him. And there's just been this pressure and this nonstop thing. And my brother's actually the successful one. He's the one everyone loves. He's the one nobody cares about me. Nobody ever cared about me. And I was like, you know what, fine. I'm just going to go. I'm going to learn my own craft, do my own thing. Started training to be a monk, joined the order. And then, one thing led to another, and demons taste delicious. Let me just tell you what. So I'm just saying, have you tried demon? You should try it sometime. It's really good.
Is that the first that you've actually admitted to that, or are we aware of your?
I'm pretty sure you're aware that I have consumed demon. I've done it in front of you.
On a certain level, but it's like it appears that you have, like when you do this, you've kept it to the point where it appears outwardly to be like vanquishing them, not consuming them for an upgrade kind of thing.
Yeah. But no, I will as a sloshed thing, because I'm kind of I can't quite hold my liquor. I'm only 20. I'll just be like, this whole thing. It's actually I'm kidding. They don't taste good. They taste terrible. It's one of the worst things. I want you to imagine. I want you to imagine a chunk of pine needles that has been soaked in urine. and that is what demons taste like. It's one of the most vile, disgusting things I've ever tasted, but it's okay because
I set the leg of whatever I'm eating back down on the plate for a moment.
Brent says,
I don't
"Do you
laugh
want
in
that?"
character. I don't laugh in character.
I
Okay.
pick it up and hand it to Brent.
Oh,
It's just vile and awful, but honestly, I mean, I feel so foolish because I jumped on this like, I will finally fulfill my grand stupid destiny or whatever, and I'll also save my master. And then I have just seen so much garbage, just in the brief. What was it? We were down to like 5 months, whatever, and the other. I've seen so much garbage that the demons have been causing just in that short period of time. Screw them. And I would hold up a glass as if it's some, you know how when you're drunk, things that aren't profound sound profound, right?
Yes.
So it's just going to be demons, screw them.
Yar.
That's it. That's the toast right
Yeah.
there. That's
Absolutely,
the whole thing. Just, oh, God.
Yes.
oh, the cup, yeah. So Brent will say, there are a lot of great feasts like this on Mount Celestia. I've been to one of them before. Since you're used to planar travel, once we get out of this, we should probably at least make a visit there, right?
You know what? That sounds like a great idea. Assuming we live, of course, because we're not going to. But
I've got confidence.
We're all
it'll be
dead.
Fine.
We're all dead. We did kill that dragon. I say a little bit too loudly.
Oh, I mean,
Yes.
banquet hall's yours, so when the service.
Oh, that's right. We literally
Staff
rented out
might
the
be a little
inn,
bit
didn't
weirded
we?
out by that, but otherwise,
Yeah, we dumped a few bags of gold on the innkeepers for this place, didn't we?
Mhm.
We rented Disneyland for the day.
That's right.
private party.
Oh, it says, I, for one, am anxious to take the fight back to the demons and to help everyone who's been wronged by them.
Yeah, we need to get back with. I can't remember his name, and I can't remember his name either.
Perfect.
We need to
My
save
favorite
them
people.
from what's her face. Oh God.
Oh yeah,
I-
that guy and the other guy.
Yeah,
There's Stool,
little dick.
Rumpadump.
Yeah, Stool and Rumpadump
uh,
are who he's referring to the character.
Okay.
But and he's also referring to the fungus quest, which is kind of the. I mean, and
Oh,
then
yeah,
there's
that one,
all
yeah,
the
we gotta do
garbage going on in Flark and Targ right now. Crackle stuff. And
I look at a map and go, "What?"
I mean, it sounds legit. It's the
Yeah, I was like,
Underdark.
all right,
It's
I
the
didn't know there,
Underdark,
but it's
right?
probably there.
Ren will ask, Bart, where did you train?
that's a good question.
I saw you training Galabagos, so I'm assuming you learned it from somewhere.
Well, you see, there's this guy named Illidan, right? And
Oh, that guy.
hang on. I turn to the GM at the table and say, "So where did I learn the art of the demon hunter from, GM?"
Didn't it start with a certain ranger a long time ago?
Well, I mean, we kind of built it into my backstory that my predecessor was also a demon hunter, and I started learning from him.
Mhm.
But the reason I'm asking is because, for those of you at home not aware, there's no such thing as a demon hunter order in Forgotten Realms, so I can just make it up if you want.
Well, I actually, like, before all this started, I did some research, and there's a lot of stuff that's like very, very, very close to it, to the point where it's kind of it.
Well, you see, I trained it.
Wow, Stoltz and stuff again.
Aha! I knew it.
Yeah. See, I trained it with the and the arts of the demon hunting.
Mhm.
It
And
was
the whole-
Arthas, and yeah.
There's Arthas was there for some reason, and Thrall and Jaina. It was terrifying.
Mhm.
But while I was there, they taught me, the biggest thing was always that no matter what you do, you're always in danger of falling. It's one of the reasons why I was so terrified. I've been so terrified all these months we've been down there, because usually what happens is if a monk falls, if a demon hunter falls, another demon hunter is there to stop them. It's just to pull them back. And all I've had is you two. No offense. I don't even know if you noticed. Have I been getting you? Do I have horns? No. Okay. I'm okay.
So the thing is, in my head, I thought the rite that we did at the portal that I thought initiated all this, because that's the frame of reference that my character has, is like, I thought we stabilized you. I thought you were good to go. I didn't know that, like,
it's an ongoing battle that I always have to be aware of and be cognizant of, and always fighting. And I will. I'm not going to become one of those jackasses. I don't know if Demogorgon. Oh my God, Demogorgon's the worst. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've actually
you mean the thing that came up in Sloopadoop?
Yeah,
That seemed bad.
I've refused to drink of the energy of Demogorgon several times because all that nonsense. Oh, real quick, third. I can't remember. Was the king Demogorgon or was he the asshole? Who I can't think of his name right now.
Which king?
The Dwarven king in Gracklestone.
Oh,
the insane
no,
king.
that was Grotz.
It was okay. So never mind.
Well, kind of.
The point is, it was not Demogorgon. That's the important part.
Right.
You know, I thought about eating the king, but you know what I mean.
All right.
Or like we hope to.
Yes, someday I will eat the king.
A couple of servants run away to tell them what they heard. So thanks
Tell
to the
servants, no.
thanks to the feast, everyone gains inspiration,
Oh, cool.
which means you have a advantage or reroll for a d20 that you may use in the future.
Fantastic.
And you're all stuffed,
Very nice.
especially Bren, who's wobbling around. He actually goes outside to bury some stuff. He gets a doggy bag.
Gabagool got his fill too, right?
Oh, yeah. He looks a little weird because, it's like looking into someone's stomach after when they're digesting everything. So for a while, he's not really his like transparent / green color. It's just blender.
Like it starts out as a turkey leg, and then
Yeah,
it
then
becomes
it's
less.
buffet smoothie.
And the server's like, "Are you sure this is doing anything?" All right,
He
you paid
enjoys
for
it. He enjoys it.
Like I so do enjoy it. Everything's that never tasted that.
Oh,
before.
actually, can I pay attention? I'll be asking him the whole time. Is there like a particular spice or flavoring that Gabagool really likes? It could be something simple like salt or pepper, or it could be like cayenne or paprika or whatever, right? But,
It's curry.
or curry.
curry.
You know what? Done.
Vindaloo.
No,
If it's black licorice, I'm going to kill him right now.
Yep. Nope. Sorry. You have to take it all back now.
he tends to seem to enjoy very, very flavorful meat stuff that's very gamey.
No spice.
No, the spice really doesn't seem to make a difference, or they just don't have stuff here that's really in his range. Like, I mean, nothing in here is really outlandish.
So not exactly Maudie, but some sort of spice.
Yeah, but I mean, he seems to take a liking to things that are a little more wild, a little more gamey.
Well, that sucks. I was kind of hoping to basically keep track of that and try to, keep him supplied with like pinches of salt or whatever.
Yeah. You can't, well, actually,
do
go
they
ahead and
have
roll me
Ode to
an
Roadkill?
intelligence nature check. in this thing.
Well, the good news is my intelligence is +0.
Perfect.
So that's going to be a 17.
Oh, that's pretty good. All right. You kind of get the feeling that a lot of his taste is very much influenced just by his general gelatinous cube nature still and senses. As in, he has a general tendency towards things that are more towards the either rotting or living spectrum. So stuff that's like well prepared and cooked and really doesn't taste like it would raw seems to be things that he goes for.
Wait,
And
I'm
from
sorry.
experience, he's perfectly fine with just eating anything, right?
Hang on. I feel like I missed that.
Mhm.
So he prefers cooked food.
No, he prefers stuff that's closer to its original raw taste.
That's what I thought. So what you're telling me is that he actually enjoys the taste of undead.
No,
You
fresh.
suspect probably not.
Okay.
So, say we're hunting, we bring down a buck or what have you. We dress it. We keep the meat that would be something we would cook over the fire, or what have you. But the entrails and the offal and the whatever and the organs, you'd hand that off to Gabagool.
Oh, you
And
think
that
he
would
probably
be
like
food
that
for
a lot.
him, and we'd have food for us. So it's a kind of a win-win. Use all the parts of the animal as intended.
Yeah.
Or if we run across roadkill, it's a done deal.
Okay.
Yeah, you do. I guess with that roll mark, you do also know that, deep down, that gelatinous cubes are rumored to be originally descended from like demon lords, right? Like that's the rumor. So, that may have something to do with it as well. But
I eat him.
they're not demons, though. So.
Okay, never mind. You're safe. You're safe, Clevigal. I'm not going to eat you. I tell him that in character. It's okay, Clevigal. I won't eat you.
Oh,
I'll
thank you.
never eat you.
I was waiting for the day I would hear that.
Well, and you
I
know
can
that thing
now
where you say, "I love you,
rest
brother." You hang
easy.
your arm over their shoulder.
No, that's
so
not a good
start
move
to do that. And it takes me a few seconds to cognate that the skin on my face, which is laying on him, is starting to bubble away, and I'm like, "Oh, I should stop."
Oh, Mark, you shaved.
Yeah, I was going for a new look.
Oh, I missed one side though. Oh well.
Good job,
All right.
Two-Face.
I've got the coin right here.
I was going to say, get him a coin. Yep.
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you the chance. No, all right.
So I'm assuming you'll probably want to sleep off the banquet after.
No, we want to head off right.
Oh, just drunken in all directions.
You want
Did
a
they have Dwarven
really
ale,
nice in?
by the way?
What's that?
Did they have Dwarven ale?
Oh, the place like this, yeah, they'll at least have Dwarven ale.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's imported stuff, but still.
Oh, I can tell this has been in the battle for the last 15 years. And I love every. Oh, I think I got a termite in there. Oh.
It's almost as old as you are.
I'm not
All
that
right.
gross. I don't know.
I mean, actually, barrel aged anything is pretty awesome. So 15 years
Sure.
in the barrel. Yeah.
All right. So you get your nice banquet, you get your nice rest. Are you heading out?
Next day.
Yep.
We do. To be clear, we really do have a decent supply of salted pork and bacon and
Oh yeah. No.
jerky,
And lemnis bread.
lemnis bread. Gotta have that. Actually, isn't there such a thing in Forgotten Realms? It's not literally lemnis bread, but it's lemnis bread.
An equivalent thereof.
There probably is. It's not I know for sure it's not like a common, you can just buy it anywhere thing. Although you might be able to get it here since they have Elven imported items. I mean, your normal rations are fine enough though. All right, so there are a lot of people actually leaving the city this morning as well, but they're all mainly from one organization. The military forces from various lords and stuff seem to be heading out as well. They have organized and they are marching out towards the north, actually going, I guess, in the same direction that you are. So the road's going to be pretty secure where you're heading, although obviously you're going to go a little bit ahead of them. Unless you really want to move along with them. But
Oh yeah, did we get the cart for Clavicle?
oh yeah, we'll get the cart.
Yeah, get that.
Not a problem getting one of those here.
By the way, the actual thing I was thinking of is Arvindor rations. And Arvindor, for those of you not aware, is actually an outer plane. It is one of the elven deity outer planes. And because this is Forgotten Realms, they actually trade with the material plane regularly. And one of the things they trade
How do you
is their
spell that?
rations. Arvandor. It's part of Arborea. Yeah, I literally just looked up Forgotten Realms magic rations, and this is like the third result. I was like, that's the one I was thinking of. They're known to be
that's in
quite
tome of. That's in the foam of toes. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Anyways, they probably don't have that here. That's a
No.
little higher level.
Well, I mean, they might. It'd probably be the same as trying to find magic items. So, okay. So you head out with them, and you move ahead of the army. It's not like a huge army, but it's the troops of several of the lords there. And are you just going to take the route that you had before, back up to the farm area?
Yes, I'm going to teleport
Seems pretty
back
uneventful.
through the phaserist. Oh, you mean
God,
them?
no.
Right.
No. I think we should just walk north.
Okay. All right. So you pass there. It's going to take, some days worth of travel to get back there like before. Not a incredibly huge issue. You meet more of the people who are coming to and from Hillsfar and the place you left. That still seems to be happening. People getting out and going to in hopes of a city or township that looks a little bit better, meeting halfway. You reach the Cormanthor, and at this point in time, you've left the army a bit far behind, so it's just you and any other individual groups traveling on the road. One thing you do notice that as you hit like the crossroads about right here is that there seems to have been some pretty heavy foot traffic coming from the west up here and heading in the direction you're going. It looks like another set of troops that are headed north. Probably passed by here within the last week or two, but their trampling marching footprints are still visible. And you head back up there towards the Hillsfar area, back towards the farm. After some more day or two of travel, the place seems to be pretty much as you left it, although you are stopped by a few patrols of Red Plumes, the mercenary group that patrols and keeps Hillsfar, quote unquote, safe. And they don't really seem to have a whole lot of purpose aside from just asking you like where you're going, what you're doing, et cetera, et cetera. Kind of get the feeling they're being just more of a harassment than anything else, although maybe there's an actual purpose, who knows.
I roll to see what level they are.
Can you roll to see what level they are?
Yes. Insight, I suppose, is what this really
You
comes
can
down to.
make an insight check, sure. This isn't a
My dice are on fire tonight. That's a 22.
22. All right.
How deadly, dangerous, competent, etc. do they seem?
Well, it doesn't seem like they're particularly paying attention. They don't seem like they particularly fear your group. As far as their like combat readiness and stuff, they're like, you think it'd probably be, and they travel in groups of 5, right? They've got like 4 of them who are lower ranked, and they've got like a captain of some sort. You're not really quite sure what the ranks are, but that seems to be the thing. You think it'd probably be it wouldn't be a fun fight. They seem to be comfortable enough with just their small group. And you get the feeling that just even though they're being jerks, they are very ready to fight anyone at any point in time. They have long swords, short swords. You see, they're strong enough to wield heavy crossbows. They've got horses. They're wearing splint mail, so they've got some decent armor on. And yeah.
Just in casual conversation, I don't have to go into it. It's just I'm going to essentially ask, I've been having any trouble with, it was halflings, right? Was the family we're going to?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Any halflings, causing issues lately, having to go rough up any farmers, kind of a deal.
One of them says, "Oh, there's a lot of ain't you a halfling?"
Wow.
All right, I killed them.
Wow.
just
That escalated
immediately.
quickly.
No, they're dead. Instantly. Just murder.
You actually want to fight them?
I'm leaning that way, admittedly, but I want an answer to this question first.
You get no, that's his answer. You get the feeling they're being particularly rude to anyone who is not Taston.
I mean, yeah, they're racist. That's great. I don't care about that. I just want to make sure they're not harassing that poor halfling family, because those are cool people.
They don't seem to really want to give you an answer.
Okay. I'm going to turn to the team and just look at them for a sec.
So when they
And-
find their bodies,
Just say, you know what, where this is going. So I just look at the team for a sec, like, I'll let it go,
They're not particularly interested in your group after you have no real interesting things. So they're going to move on. They're not just sitting there looking for a fight.
we'll move on for now.
All right, I know what I'm gonna do. You know how in fiction they've always got those little trackers? I'm gonna throw a tracker on one of them.
Except it's a big dart.
Yes. Oh, ah! There,
The
now
D&D
you're
version of
Okay,
air
we'll be able to
tag.
track him wherever he goes now.
Yeah,
He's just laying and crumpled on the road. I see him.
yeah. He didn't get far.
He's right there.
No, I guess the
Anyways.
D&D version of that would be stealing something from theirs and then scrying them. Okay.
All right, fine. I'll let them live as long as I don't think they're harassing the halflings. 'Cause that's all I really care about.
I mean, we can
Yep.
always check with the halflings and find them.
Yeah,
That is
I-
exactly
yeah,
what I'm
we're
thinking, to
planning on
be
doing.
completely honest. Like, Underdark's nice and all, but this is a sidestep. Underdark's a big problem. We could get rid of the squirrel on the road before we go with the tiger,
Well, their place is like right near the entrance to the Underdark anyway, so that actually works out really well.
Weird place to have your farm, but they probably didn't know.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, you continue going along. You do notice that some of the farms seem to be having some troubles, like they're not exceptionally well kept up, or and you actually see a few of them which looks like they've been abandoned. There's not very many at this point people coming from Hillsfar. A couple of them will, I mean, if you stop and ask them, they'll say that they've basically emptied out whoever wants to get out of Hillsfar at this point in time. So there's nobody. The people who want to be there are there. The people who don't want to be there are gone at this point in time. There's a couple of weird folks you meet along the way. Just people doing weird stuff, like on the side of the road, like a bunch of elves just sitting there laughing, having a meal by the side of the road for no particular reason. And they ask you to join them creepily. Look like a bunch of wood elves, and they just radiate there's obviously something wrong with you people. You do see like some loose farm animals that have been going around that just don't seem to have any leads on them, that are just wandering around. Actually, at one point in time, there's like a homeless looking little girl who's like riding a goat around for no particular reason, up and down the road, and the goat seems to not even be able to see. It seems to be blind, so it's just stumbling and falling all over the place. There's just like a general sense as well of weirdness around here that wasn't here the last time you were around. Just like an unsettling energy that's just over here. But you make it to the halflings place. They are still there. It looks like a bit of their crops have been burned. But it seems like it was contained, or it was a small fire or something, because it's nowhere near the entire thing. And they're still there. The kids are still doing things outside when you arrive around near the middle of the day, and they 100% remember you. The father and mother come out and greet everyone as you come in. They seem very tired, like it's been a long time, but they're like, hey, welcome back. I didn't expect you back so soon. I don't know why you'd head over the hills far again after everything we told you about it, but what can we do you for?
Master Redcloak, what seems to have happened with your field?
Oh, there was some idiot who came around here and decided to set my field on fire. Luckily, a couple of us were out, and we caught him, but not before it got a bunch of our crops.
Did it look like? Describe the mercenaries.
No. As a matter of fact, we turned him over to him. It's a real serious crime, burning crops.
Well, yeah, obviously that's a big deal.
That makes sense.
Did the
And they're having to
mercenaries
take him, and they don't
harass
want-
you or insult you or give me any
Oh.
justification to murder them whatsoever?
Yeah. Wait for it.
Well, they've been a little more strict than usual, but there's also been a lot of other weird stuff going on as well. So they're definitely on edge. I mean, it's something we've had to live with for quite some time.
Well, Kalimvor will forgive them. I won't.
Bahamut won't.
Well, I suppose Kalimvor, being the great judge of the dead, would be the appropriate person to give or not give any forgiveness once they die. So that is what his job is, right?
Yes.
Okay. I thought I had that right. Yeah, all right. So you here for just a little bit as a stopover? Where are you headed out?
No, we're out and we leave immediately.
But
Oh,
well,
so yeah,
actually, it was a
peace.
couple things. First, to check to see how you were doing with you, everything you said Hillsfar was going through at this time, and also, well, we'd ask a favor of you.
Oh,
Would it be okay if we were to spend a day and just enjoy the sun in one of your fields?
Oh, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that at all. As a matter of fact, it helped me out. It means no more crazies would come around and try and burn the field while you were there. No. Feel free to stay. I mean, it's helpful to us to just have a group like yourself around. You understand? You're more than welcome to stay. I don't know how long you are planning on staying, but I mean, there is a celebration going on over there in Elventree.
Mhm.
It's a couple of days away, but I mean, I don't know where you got to be. So just if you got a couple of days to spare.
Regrettably, we don't. But thank you
Yeah.
for the offer. We do have
Pressing
errands
matters.
to make, pressing matters, and well, oaths to keep to individuals we promised. And now that we have regrouped and recovered,
I
but
completely understand. You got to keep your word.
before we do go, and I want to reach into one of my pouches, and one of the blue spindles that we got from the Dragon Horde,
Mhm.
I want to give one to him and say thank you for being the first group that we've seen in many a month to offer hospitality and safe harbor without question in our travels, both coming and going.
Oh well, I thank you quite much. I wouldn't be any halfling if I didn't offer you that kind of stuff. But I mean, I wouldn't be. I won't turn down your gift. I thank you very much. You can kind of tell that he has no idea what it's worth.
I think it's worth like what, 200 gold?
It's like
that?
500 gold or something.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
that's 500 gold.
Okay,
I'm
there we go.
gonna very quietly lean in and just that's worth 500.
What was that?
I just need to make sure he's aware of the value of that gift.
Yeah, he faints.
He fails his con check.
Right.
His wife says, "What did you do to him?" I mean, he comes to in just a
And
second.
I like start to lean in to whisper to him. Just to see him back off.
He says something. He says something in halfling to her, and you can tell that he's told her. And he just seems to be beside himself, sputtering. He can't really believe that he has this much money now.
Don't let those mercenaries see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, this will
Don't let
hopefully
anybody
help
see that.
take care of your family if there are any other issues that befall your crops, or if you need to leave suddenly. Hopefully, this will help pay your way and keep you safe monetarily.
He says, "No, I think he's some. I think if we can get enough for this in one of the cities over, I think we'll leave this place. I mean, we have to stay around this place because this is our farm. This is what we own. But we could start somewhere else that's away from Hillsfire with this."
And just to let you know as well, perhaps that might be a good idea since we originally came from the Underdark from our
Mhm.
travelers, and this is the first civilization place that we found. So, and the entrance to the Underdark is not too far away. So that might be a good idea to take your family farther away from Hill's Far End and entrance to the Underdark.
Well, this is true. I mean, I figured that you came from nearby when you said you came from the Underdark last time. Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Well, he whispers, or not whispers, he chattered something in Halfling to his wife back and forth for a little bit. You can just pick out like some names of places in common that like weave through that conversation. And he says, I think we got a couple of ideas that we could head probably far, far to the west, away from the eastern coast here. There seems to be a lot of trouble around these areas.
I'd avoid the area, right? Oh no, that was an was it? It was Baldur's Gate.
Was it Baldur's Gate?
No, it was I was right. I mean, Baldur's Gate is literally just north of so never mind.
Okay.
I don't know why I was thinking. Oh, right, Neverwinter is the other place I think. Sorry.
To be honest, I've heard a lot of good things about Eltergard.
I admittedly haven't heard anything bad about that lately.
Well, they apparently it's a good place. There's need of people like myself there, and they've got like the holy city of Elturel there. It's a real nice place from what I've heard. I've got relatives over near that area. Well, I did years ago. No idea where they are now. It's a long trek, but I figured we could probably pay for some protection with this. And I mean, you don't understand. This is a lot. Are you sure you don't need this?
I was gonna say, where we're going, we don't need roads. No, that's the wrong thing. No. We have a tendency to find our own luck in the Underdark, surprisingly enough. So
the Underdark seems to be particularly lucrative, although very dangerous, I'm sure.
Super dangerous. Cannot stress that enough. Do not take your family to the Underdark.
I'm gonna grab him and I'm gonna roll Intimidate. Okay.
Do not go.
I'm not joking. I just rolled a 20.
Wow.
And all I'm gonna say is, do not go to the Underdark.
Oh no, it's no place for myself.
Look at me.
You're not hearing me.
Swear to me. Swear to me.
I've never heard of any halflings go to the Underdark
him
before.
Up in the air at this point.
Oh, I've never heard of any halflings going to the Underdark before, and I'm not going to be the first one. I promise. One of the kids says, "I want to go to the Underdark."
No.
No. All right, well, feel free to make yourself comfortable in the fields out there. We'll bring you some refreshments.
Hang on, let me roll a Constitution save against the poison they're about to poison me with.
No, they're basically just bringing you some water.
Halfling farm poison?
Halfling farm poison.
It's just hemlock, just straight up.
Oh, okay.
They just hand you cloves of hemlock. Says, "Eat this, please." You got any more of those gems on you?
See, you gave him a taste. It's in the water now.
Yeah, they use the
These
crime
leaves are
downtime.
very interesting. Yes, rhubarb leaves. Yes.
Hold on, little Billy. Roll your sleight of hand check. All right. So,
Yes. Sun.
the sun. Yeah, and the sun is.
Make the reference really quick. All right.
There you go. No, I mean it's actually nice. It smells like crops out here. It's got that nice earthy and plant smell out here. Still a little singed out here, so there's that after odor, but you've got the bright sun down on you. And I need to roll dice.
Why?
It's okay. It's okay. It's not bad.
What
You know it's a
possible
meteor.
reason do you? All right. Okay, viewers at home, I want you to picture this. All right, you go to your GM and say, "I'd like to go and rest in a peaceful field." And the GM says, "All right, let me roll some dice here." Oh God, what have I done?
No one's done anything wrong. It's fine. All right. So, how long are you going to spend it here? Just until the sun goes down?
Yes,
Okay. So you're out here for some hours then.
this is actually effectively our night's rest, I think, because we're going to
Yeah.
take off at night. And
You do
better at
see
that point.
something that you had seen before when you were
it's a
traveling
Star
down.
Destroyer.
Yes, you see a Star Destroyer. That's right. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, or it's getting closer.
That's
No, you
good.
see way up in the sky, just drifting among the clouds, a dragon like before when you saw it going down south. Again, very, very rare to see another one. It seems to be a chromatic one. Looks to be a red and probably a very large one, just by the fact that you can actually see it all the way up there. And it seems to be headed northwest. Drifts in amongst the clouds and then disappears before too long.
For the viewers at home who don't know the geography or don't have the map, I don't know what Guido's camera is pointing at right now. The Anorak is northwest of here. Just mentioning for no reason.
Yeah.
Aston,
Yes.
how you doing?
I am, since we're going to be doing this for hours, I may as well also be spending time communing with Kelmvor and trying to get a feel for where things are at in the Pantheon, and also is the feeling of dread around Cuillin subsided, and also the request of bringing Glabagul into the fold.
Okay. And by the way, Glabagul cannot stop talking about like all the stuff that he's learning. It's like, you know what I learned? The undead are bad, but it's because of this reason. And then he starts like saying things that are things he learned in year one. But at least he's
getting into it.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll me doing 100 testing.
Okay. 73.
73. All right. So you're meditating on this stuff, and you've got quite a bit of time to meditate about this. You do feel very, very much at peace with the fact that you have done these rituals of cleansing for Cuillin. You don't have that bad feeling anymore from that, right? So you're like that seems to be at peace as far as you can tell.
Okay.
And maybe it's just being out here in the sun, but it's definitely a warming thing that you feel from that. It does also feel like there's something that's bugging you, though, like just an itch on the back of your shoulder. It just like won't go away, like someone's like tapping you on your shoulder, though.
Okay.
There's something there.
And
then you hear a whisper in your ear, it's Cuillin. He says, "Hey, there's something on your shoulder."
Okay, so I turn around to look at my shoulder.
Yep, there is a little songbird that's tapping you on your shoulder.
All right, this is very Disney all of a sudden. All right, I'm game.
Mm-hmm.
The hill.
Yeah.
It actually turns to look at you, and then it opens its mouth, and you hear a very deep and Mark, you would recognize this accent, a hill dwarven accent come from it that says, "Bruno Battlehammer of Gauntlgrim summons you for a meeting. Please make haste."
How the crap hell did you get a songbird out here, out of the Underdark? I don't say that in character.
And then it seems to like almost revert back to normal songbird mannerisms. It looks at you, chirps for a second, and then flaps and flies off.
I turn to the rest of the party. Does anybody know where Gauntlgrim is?
Actually, yes, I do.
You would know what this is, Mark. This is a pretty famous place.
Yeah, it's the place I kept mistaking for the place we were actually.
It's
because everything in the Underdark says Blood Clark and Targ. You know, it's always the same. Anyways.
Now, the weird thing is that Gauntlgrim is supposed to, at least the last time you heard, be abandoned and overrun.
If you remember, I actually spent some time when I was still down in Greckelstoke, specifically researching Gauntlgrim and thinking about an expedition there. And that's when I learned,
Yep.
they's got issues, yo. So I'm going to say we probably
actually-
need to prioritize that.
And actually, everyone roll me a knowledge history check. And Mark, you have advantage on this.
Damn right I do, which is good because that first roll was a 3. I actually do have history trained, ironically. My int is still garbage, but at least I have history. 18 for me.
18, Taston.
Math. Hold on.
Oh.
Yeah, because you said Daston, not Liam. So
yeah.
28.
Wow.
Sorry.
Knocked out of the
So
park.
I've
Okay.
heard of Gauntlgrim.
No, this is actually not about Gauntlgrim.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
This is about Brunor Battlehammer, the person you mentioned. So, Mark, Brunor Battlehammer, you know that name pretty much instantly. You're like, Brunor Battlehammer is an incredibly famous dwarven champion. Was known to be king of a place that is also famous, a dwarven stronghold called the Mithril Hall. But the problem is Brunor Battlehammer is supposed to be dead. Now, Liam, apparently you wrote your thesis on this guy.
Your entire second year was
Yeah.
just this dude.
Let me tell you. What would you like to know about him?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So you know that, again, like very famous champion adventurer. You know that he had some very close connections with a couple of individuals, some weird individuals. One of them was named Drizzt Duarden. Another one was named Regis, a halfling. And he essentially traveled with an adventuring group with him, and some other fellows who were part of an expedition that helped retake the Mithril Hall. He's basically very well known for things like that. Like if you got to retake it, then Brunor Battlehammer is the person to do it. You know that at least it's rumored that his death was not actually real. There are some very, not substantiated, but at least there's some evidence behind it that he did try and fake his death to get out of the spotlight and to avoid his enemies, because he started building up a lot of enemies. So you do know that there are rumors flying around about that. You do also know that he helped construct a plan before there was stories of his death to retake Gauntlgrim after the Mithril Halls. So that does line up with this message, at least. It's just that, there's a few things that don't connect. She's with the 28. You do know a couple of people who did know him, a couple of friends of his that could potentially be, obviously Drizzt is one of them if for some reason you could particularly find him. There's a gnome, an alchemist that knew him. He actually was friends with an orc as well who knew him, and they, if they are still alive, could perhaps know more about him. Let's see, what else? He was known to be carrying some artifacts, particularly his axe. So whether or not he died or not, those would probably still be with him unless he died and somebody took him. Let's see. There's one other thing. He did also go by a number of aliases. He did go by Bonego Battleaxe at some point in time. So that's another alias he has. He was very much honored by Moradin. So he's a very favorite, not an actual like avatar or a favorite of him, but very, very well liked by Moradin. Let's see what else. exactly what he looks like from the descriptions. He has a shield with a foaming mug symbol on it. That's kind of like the symbol of his clan. He famously wore a one-horn helmet. And yeah, I mean, you'd be able to recognize a lot of stuff of his and symbols of his and stuff just from knowledge. So yeah, so still a lot of rumors about him that you don't know, but that's what you do know.
Info dump the important bits.
Yep.
Okay.
So admittedly, we do have a decision at this point because we have to decide what takes priority now because we've got 3 things we can go to as soon as we get back down there. And I'm not sure which it should be at this point, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ready to deal with the demons. So, not sideline. Putting that off for now. I think we should focus on the other options.
Okay. So the question then becomes, do we travel to Gracklestug and pick up Stool and Rumperdump and then go to God, I've already forgotten the name. I wrote it down. Gauntlgrim for the summons. This is assuming we can get through the siege lines to Gracklestug.
And
Do we
assuming
skip that
we
all-
don't have problems at Gracklestug that makes us stay there. But I admit I too am very hesitant to just leave them there. I should probably mention I kind of left rather suddenly and unexpectedly.
Teleportation will do that.
Yeah. I wasn't quite ready for that. So
Do we maybe want to leave
Geographically
them?
speaking, is
Okay.
it on the way?
actually, it's almost directly in the way, depending because we're coming from the southeast, right? They're
Yes, yeah, right now you're around here. So
hang on, shoot, I
Yeah,
lost
look
it.
at the other map.
I'm sorry, yeah, the other map, because like
Oh, okay.
Gauntlgrim is straight west of Gracklestug, and
Yeah.
we're coming in, so it is kind of literally in the way, is why I mentioned it.
right. I think the thing you'll probably want to consider though is overland travel is much easier than Underdark travel.
It is. Do we know
But you're
another
not
way?
wrong. You could go down there and then head towards Gauntlgrim, but you're probably talking, if you don't consider the demons, probably several months of travel to get there in the Underdark.
So trying to find a way overland to the general area, that should be easy enough, but then finding a passage into the Underdark would be a kind of a guessing game. Unless we or is it not knowing like how common Underdark
Passages?
passages would be.
Yeah, so let me see. So you know what, if you like, you can make another history check for rumored entrances and stuff to Gauntlgrim, because it is a dwarven stronghold. So it's not like it's just like a random place that you would not have any connections to the above surface.
So I'll assist you on that.
Put it up, or are you rolling it?
No, I'm saying I'm assisting.
Actually, the dwarf should probably roll it.
That's what I was
my history is
assuming, but
trash, so
I held
yeah,
back
no,
for a
that makes
second. I
sense.
do have history proficiency, so
I don't.
good.
Yeah.
Okay.
and you give me advantage, right, for helping? So
Is it advantage or
I-
plus
I'm-
2?
that's why I could. Okay, well, my first roll
It's
was a 17
advantage.
anyways, so whatever. So that's it's 20.
Okay. Yeah, so there are supposed to be above ground entrances to it. It's not 100% assume for sure, but supposedly north of the, you know how we were checking out the Desserin valley and river and stuff last time, just up there. So supposedly there's a way to get to Gauntlegrim up there.
Okay.
So we really have a choice now. Do we abandon our comrades in the currently besieged Gracklestug, which I remind you is also besieged, or do we try to do this and hope that this is going to lead to a more long-term solution that we currently don't have?
Well, all we have so far is just summons. That doesn't mean we're on the hook or obliged to do anything, but information might help us, or at least give us a better idea of what the situation is there, which may benefit us when trying to retake Gracklestug from the siege. And then if we check it out, it doesn't pan out, we can leave immediately as a priority to get back to our friends in Gracklestug. That's my thought.
It's actually not a bad point. It is still a bit of a trip between Gauntlegrim and Gracklestug either way, but it's a doable trip either way.
Right.
Like we could go up, down, or we could go across. Yeah, what are you thinking, Liam?
Honestly, I'm thinking it might be safer for the Myconids to stay at the house.
That's valid. And I will also admit that I know this sounds horrible, but part of my worry is that we'll get to Gauntlegrim. And then Gauntlegrim, it is Gauntlegrim, right? God damn it.
Gracklestug is where they are.
They're in Gracklestug. Okay. We'll get to Gracklestug. God damn this place. We'll get to Gracklestug. And it'll be like, hey, so the demons are getting worse and the invasion, the siege is getting worse. Please help us get out of this jam. And they'll all turn to us for solutions we don't have, right?
Right.
And like, I'm sorry if that happens. I'm not turning away from that. How can I, right? So, you know,
Either that
maybe
or
we
it's
might
already
get
been
lucky.
raised.
that's also possible. So
Maybe we'll find aid in Gauntlegrim.
that is exactly what I'm like. I know that's such an optimistic thing.
Yeah.
But like you say, there's either information, aid, or the possibility of either. And I know we're grasping at straws, but Gracklestug there's no solution. There's no plan of action there. It's just go there and then hope. At least if we go here, we are doing something that is trying to make things better.
Right.
So that's my vote, and that's why.
Plus, to be honest, while we have been incredibly lucky and been able to pull off some amazing things, we're still a party of like 6 against a demon army. That's not good odds. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, we need an army of our own.
We took down a dragon, and that was amazing. Really don't want to press that immediately again.
Can I jump in really quick, Third?
Sure.
Right about at this point in time, one of the halfling kids who's been hiding in the nearby bushes, just watching us because they're kids, is like, "You killed a dragon? That is awesome!"
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly.
What kind of dragon is an allegedly?
It's a very so it's the one with the red scales.
Oh.
That's an alleged dragon.
Whoa.
If you can imagine a dragon.
Did they hang out on like big mountains where they're like on ledges and they go, "Arr"?
It's one step above a legendary.
Yep.
So it's legendary and then alleged.
Yep.
Allegedly
alleged dragon.
Oh. Can you fly?
Go back to your farm. We're dealing with
Okay.
important adventurer stuff. Secretly,
Okay.
we're thinking about going and killing a bunch of demons.
What's a
Gonna go.
demon?
It's
Would you
so
quit
know how-
corrupting the kid?
Listen, hang on. So
I want to be a demon when I grow up.
No. You don't want to be
you
a demon.
really
Let me
don't.
explain a demon to you. You know those muskrats that get into your crops and eat them all, and they're
Mhm,
like
yeah.
they're aggravating, they're terrible, and or those little those are demons. They're little demons, so don't worry about it.
Oh.
Those are demons. You ask your pa about that; he'll tell you about this. We're
Oh,
going
okay.
after much bigger demons. They get much.
Is that
bigger.
like devils? Sometimes they call us little devils.
Oh no, much worse than devils.
Oh, okay.
It's just it's not good stuff. We gotta I got to deal with that.
He starts running back. Mom, do we have any little demons in our field?
Not anymore. No.
This will go well.
So,
And fireball.
are we decided? Are we going to go ahead and push for the summons and hope?
So the summons being in Gauntlegrim, the town that the Myconids are not.
Yes. I pulled up the map. I've got it right here because Gracklestug. This is funny, but I don't know if you've got the map on screen right now, Guido. Yeah. So for users at home, you can see Gauntlegrim and Gracklestug visually are right next to each other. The words are almost touching. So it's even worse.
Yeah.
Anyways, yes, Gauntlegrim is the one I'm referring to.
As much as I'm not a big fan of going when summoned, I think proceeding to Gauntlegrim is going to be a better idea.
If nothing else, to find out why someone put forth so much effort to find us.
Find you.
Okay, find me.
No, I'm just making the point. Like, no offense, but why you?
I
Like,
really
he's the
don't
one
know.
with the connections, and I'm the one who's connected with the dwarves down in Gracklestug. And
Right.
you're awesome, but you're more awesome like up here, right?
Kinda. I mean, my only extra emphasis would be Dawnbringer, but that's not well known aside from the Underdark. So
I don't know.
aside from that, I'm just a cleric.
Dear.
I'm only a
So-
9th level cleric. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I gotcha.
it is funny. Like, okay,
As a
There-
group, we've done amazing things. As a singular character in this, I'm like, yeah, I'm part of a team, but I'm not like god tier in any way, shape, or form.
Well, what makes you feel better? There is an answer to it. So
Okay.
the answer is find the nearest cleric of Kellamvor, and the bird has been out here for weeks.
He'll do.
First one done.
Yeah.
Tired of this.
I guess technically you could do that because you could tell it like, hey, find someone dressed in the uniform of Kellenborn. It still wouldn't even know that. No, I guess it would actually.
I don't know the Doom. I can't say what they're called. The Doom people who roam. What are they called?
Doomguard.
Doomguard. The Doomguard have a pretty static outfit, so if they knew what the outfit looked like, it's all gray too, right? So just look for someone wearing a bunch of gray armor like this. Nah, it probably wouldn't work either. Whatever. Anyways, given
No, the bird had a wanted poster. That's how he knew.
perfect. It's like around the neck, just looks down.
Hey, is this you?
It's actually upside down.
buddy.
It's not you. You're just the upside
That's
down
phrased
version
completely wrong.
of what I was looking for.
It's you just with a goatee.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
All
given the time, I think this is probably a good cutoff point.
I agree.
Yes.
We're going down to Gauntlegrim. I'd like to say I'm joking that I keep checking the map to verify that, but I'm not. I really am like, okay, that's not.
Devil went down to Georgia. What?
He was looking for soul to steal.
Mhm.
He was in a bind. He was kind of behind. He needed to make a deal.
All right. So let me just kind of map out the potential path here.
Let's see. So 5 dragons here.
Yep,
3
there it is.
There. Wait, no, we're going topside to get there. So
Yeah.
this could be interesting.
So you want to travel via roads or cross country?
Really?
Yeah, actually, I'll tell you this. You map out the path you want to take.
I roll knowledge geography. Someone else.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right?
knowledge
If you're going on roads, then you're generally fine. If you're not, then
Well, what's faster is really what matters to me.
Crossing the
well, I guess
desert.
technically faster would be go crossing through a desert. But I mean,
Yeah, that's
You wanna do
like
that?
a bad idea.
You know what's funny is that desert isn't all that bad. I'm sorry, let me walk that back. Desert travel isn't all that bad. That desert can go to hell.
yeah.
Right. Okay. So that's what I expected.
Let me clarify that sentence a little bit. Okay, that. All right.
because-
Liam, you don't have magic or not magic. You don't have a teleportation circle, do you?
That would be what level is that?
Was it
Oh,
fifth? Okay.
a few more levels. Okay,
So, do we think about maybe going to a major city and seeing if we can contract somebody to teleport us to the nearest major city where we're looking for, which would be
yeah, where's our destination? Third, help me out here.
Silvery Moon? Is that a pretty?
For sure, Silvery Moon would have an arcane, because what you're probably looking for is teleportation circle, because that is a no error. I'm going to get from one place to another.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
You just have to find like a wizard or someone who knows the sigils who can do that. Okay. Silvery Moon, 100% would have a teleportation circle in there. Other than that, you'd probably need to contact like the local mages or anyone else who may offer the services and figure out where exactly they know where to go. But any of the major cities or towns are going to have a circle there, probably. It's just a question of who knows how to get to it.
Okay.
And there may be, you may talk to somebody and be like, oh yeah, I totally have know of a circle in Yartar. We can go there. No problem. Who knows?
Okay. Refresh my memory. How many chevrons do we need to have locked before we can do this sort of thing?
Well,
Is it 13?
it's been so long since I watched that.
I know. That's like I keep thinking in my head. Chevron 5 locked. I'm like, I don't know how many we need, but we have to have them all plus the origin.
The seventh chevron was the final one.
Okay. Okay. So it's 7 chevrons. Great. Yeah, that's probably like if time is of the essence and we don't want to travel direct route cross land because of desert and that sort of.
So, hold on. I know you
desert.
were talking about Silver Moon, but what's our destination? Where's the down?
Sorry, I meant like getting to Gauntle Grim or to the nearest major city to Gauntle Grim, which might even be Neverwinter if I'm looking at this right. Because Gauntle Grim's on the map, but is Gauntle Grim topside or in the Underdark?
It's in the Underdark.
Okay.
The above ground to Underdark, the rumor has it, the stories is that there is supposedly somewhere north of the Desrin River, there is an entrance to it.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That sucks.
So that puts us at Yartar or Flint Rock.
Okay.
But those don't look like major cities.
Hey, Liam. While you were in Selgaunt, did you think any of the mages there would have the Circle of Teleport? Big old trade city. You spent a lot of time in the mage scrolls, the mage shops, the mage trade guilds. So what do you think?
So the orders, the organizations that potentially would
Maybe funny to
able
go
to
right
do
back to
that.
Selgaunt, but whatever.
I mean, you could.
I'm just saying that's a major
potentially
trade
faster.
town. It's right near Cormyr, and yeah, it's a relatively safe road. It's right there. Distance doesn't really matter in 5th edition for teleport, so it doesn't matter if we do it there or in Thay or in Baldur's Gate or wherever. It just matters that we get the teleport.
So here we go. So notable organizations that could potentially do things like this. Obviously, if there is a noble house that has like a house wizard or something, maybe they could do it. But as far as organizations, there's Guardians of the Weave, an organization of good spellcasters as opposed to evil wizards. Fucking abuse of the Weave.
Okay.
But they probably would be able to do it. The Red Wizards of Thay also have some. Okay, they could definitely do it.
I remember remembering
I'm
that's
sure.
not good.
Once you get past those, that's all you really know just from the time you were there. There's potentially some guilds there that are less than on the up and up that maybe could do it, but you never have really checked into that kind of stuff. It's possible that, there's definitely people there who could do it. You just have to ask around, right?
So
This
what
would be
I'm
kind of
hearing
like asking who has a private jet who would be willing to go there.
What I'm hearing is let's go back to Selgaunt, because that really does feel like one of the better options we have available.
There's probably people in Hillsfire could do it too.
And it's True.
Since we're in Hillsfar, we should check here first.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that is
It
legit.
just seems, yeah.
If nothing
dangerous,
else, we can
but-
kill those mercenaries.
Well, okay, yeah, sure. We'll make a day of it.
All right, we need some teleport. Hang on. There we
Yeah.
go. We need some
Yeah,
teleport.
sorry, anyway.
Assistance. Sorry for the mess.
Yeah, yep. That sounds like a plan.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, I guess we're going to Hills Farm and seeing how much of a mess. Hang on. No, I take it back. We're going to Hills Farm. There we go. Done. Commit. I had another idea, but
Don't go murder hobo.
No, I'm not going murder hobo.
So we're
I
gonna
actually
raise
had another
Hell's.
idea.
We're gonna raise Hillsfar to the ground.
And then we're gonna raise Hills Far. Hey, you priest of Kelmore, look the other way for a second.
Yeah. What's that over there? What?
Oh my God! Look at all these very alive people who are now in servitude to us. It's great.
I'm just suddenly
that's
reminded of the Overlord video game and the little minions. Or
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're just walking on the road, and all of a sudden, several undead minions walk up, like, "Here you go," to you, Gaston, to just like, eh.
What?
No, over here, to me. I got this. Oh, sorry. Dust Spider. Whatever you do exactly the opposite of what the GM says. They love it when that happens.
This will go well.
Actually, I'm loving this. So normally, I've never actually played out this particular part without any of us. So this is completely new.
Is there? So I don't know how to ask this. Is there anything covering this, or are you just doing this?
No, I'm just doing this.
Okay, that's
Okay.
I was just curious because I mean
there's stuff happening. Like some of the things have been, well, this is what is happening, right?
So this city just got knocked over. This city just got
because like just no spoilers, but in the book it's basically like, all right, 3 months later.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. It's like, all right, I guess.
What hasn't been 3 months yet, so we're okay.
This group is very much not we'll just not do anything for 3 months and then just wait for the next chapter.
Yeah,
which is fine. This is actually, to be honest, this is very much transitioning into a different campaign called. There's a campaign called Storm King's Thunder, and that one actually takes place along this entire map.
Yeah.
Which I've run before, so it's kind of like, well, we'll just transition into what would have happened there while we're running around the overworld, right? With the Rage of Demons things going on in the meantime. And also, Hillsfar is a great place because they have an entire adventure series that I've run before in there. So
in Hillsfar, really?
Yeah, really. Well, the first one's called Harried in Hillsfar. I don't remember like every single one, but there's literally an entire adventure series set during Rage of Demons that takes place in Hillsfar.
Wow.
Is this the three-headed goat thing I keep remembering?
I don't know where you're getting that from.
Okay, so before Rage of Demons came out, they did a whole lead up into its series of micro adventures, right? And I was actually a participant in one of these. And one of them was that the demonic stuff was starting to have relatively minor influences on the surface world, and these specific I was
okay.
in.
You know what? Yes, actually, I remember what you're talking about. Yes, that's one of the adventures, and that one takes place outside of Hillsfar and around the farm areas.
I was right.
Yes.
I was right.
I remember what you're talking
That's
about.
why I
now.
keep. See, if you wonder, my memory isn't that bad. That's
Yes.
we're near Hillsfar, near a farm, and I keep asking about this because I keep waiting for this goat.
You're
to
just
show up.
obsessed with this thing that doesn't exist.
Whereas I know it exists. I know I didn't imagine.
How
it.
many heads do your farm animals have? One.
Damn
Is
it!
he okay?
No, I've
He's
thrown
okay.
I'm throwing some stuff from those adventures, just in general background stuff so far. But I mean, no three-headed goats.
Okay.
Like the girl riding the goat in the party and the slide is actually from some of those modules. So is the Elven Tree thing.
Kill them all. Then. I mean,
You should.
it'll be cool. We won't kill anybody. Maybe
Yeah,
we'll kill those mercs. They're dead.
the red plumes are interesting folk for sure.
I mean, they're mercenaries.
Yeah.
And I mean that rather
They're
thoroughly.
corrupt mercenaries working for a corrupt place that is becoming even more corrupt as of late.
Yep.
Um,
I mean,
also, there are people who are not corrupt among them, which makes it more difficult.
I just heard kill me, kill me, kill me. So
Yeah.
let's do it. I'm ready.
Trail of bodies.
Some of the better things that some of the modules do with the red plumes is that because they're present in a lot of the modules as well.
Mhm.
In general, like they're like racist jerks most of the time, but then they've got like occasionally they'll insert like one or two people who are like, oh, they're actually totally perfectly fine. They don't like the people they're working with, but they do it because they're literally the last line of defense against this one thing, right?
Mhm.
And you're like, oh well, I just kind of killed like 12 of your guys, sorry.
My
bad.
Yeah,
But
my
in my
bad.
defense, they were jerks. So.
Yes. And then they end up fighting anyway and everybody feels bad.
Oh wow. The red plumes were actually in Hillsfar, the game. Now you're probably thinking, what the heck is that? So way back in the 80s, there was a series of D&D games that came out, which were terrible, by the way. These were on like the DOS, you know.
Well, these are like the TSR ones that they put out.
Yeah. And there is one called
Oh.
Hillsfar, which I have played back then, obviously. And I didn't know the red plumes were in that though.
And they go back pretty
they're
far.
Villains in that particular game.
Oh yeah. They go back like over 100 years too. Like they're pretty old.